Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact. The Sunday, not so exclusive to Patreons tonight. No, Bill, what are we doing?
We're doing a freebie. We do this once in a while, J-Bone. So this is showing you what our Patreons normally get on a weekly basis with the family dinner. If you're an old school TNI fan, you might remember the first incarnation of this show, but now we've been doing it for the Patreon members, along with some other goodies as well. But this is always the guarantee show you get every week, which is just us talking. And what better way than after Super Bowl Sunday to have family dinner, J-Bo?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, dude. I'll be honest. I've not necessarily been very anti NFL this year. I've just been kind of like the last handful of years, I've been very anti-NFL. Like, oh, screw the NFL. I'm tired of them. And all their stupid rules. This was this wasn't a high-scoring Super Bowl, but it was fun. There weren't penalties every 2 seconds. They were
only
letting
near the
them
end
play.
was there really some penalties, but that's always when you get what they call a clean or a game without a lot of laundry. That's always a much more fun game to watch. If you're getting a lot of stops because of the old officials, just like in wrestling, Jacob, if the referee becomes the show, it's not a good time. You're gonna have a bad time.
Right.
This is a good time. So when all the eyes are on it, obviously a lot more people watch. It's the most watched event of the year. So that's the good part. The game was the good part. I don't know about the commercials, but
and I'm no analyst, but we could talk whatever you want to talk about. We can talk. I mean, there's a lot of news we can talk about.
Ooh, news.
But if we let's stay on the Super Bowl just for a little bit, because that is like the big thing that just ended. So you watched the Super Bowl. Did you have a pick?
I thought the Rams would win it. I didn't really have a rooting interest on either side. Obviously, I'm outside of Philly. I'm an Eagles fan, so there really wasn't any tight connections to either team. NFC team, but just you could see the Rams loaded up this year to go for the Super Bowl. They brought in a bunch of big names. They got Stafford, so it seemed like they were really going for the title. So it seemed like they were the choice. Like the Bengals were a good story, but I wasn't sure if they were there yet. They were definitely a surprise to get there. Not so much with the Rams. They seemed like they always had a good shot at getting there. They started out great. They kind of, near the end of the year, had a little bit of a drop those last couple weeks. Oh, thank you very much, Punk.
Thank you.
For the bits. I threw this on Twitch at the last second, J-Ba.
Oh, you did? Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I'm so used to keeping this on YouTube, I didn't even think about Twitch. No offense, Twitchers.
But this is a freebie. Give it to everybody.
Right. We'll give it to everybody. What's up, Mark? Just popping in to say, hey, fam. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Have a great show, fellas. All right. Much love, brother.
Yeah, let us know in the chat. Who did you guys have? Did you have a rooting interest? I know, I'm not sure if he's in here. Some of these people are probably too, like some of the big fans, like I know, like Bell's Boy, he's a big LA fan. So he's probably partying right now. You might have to get him down off the light posts, J-Bone.
Well, and we haven't seen Lakers. He's been very quiet.
Yeah, he's been quiet for a bit, so he might be going nuts right now. But I don't think he's a Rams fan. I think he might be a Packers fan.
He is a Packers fan, but he is a LA fan.
Yeah, so he could be a fan. So and this is the interesting thing because got to remember, it wasn't long ago the Rams weren't in LA. LA didn't even have a football team.
And that's a funny thing. Because LA's gone all over the place with. Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
And don't mind me. I'm just finishing off my pizza rolls here.
Pizza rolls.
Because they can't leave them out for the cats. No. What was I saying? One beer, folks. I swear to God,
And
one beer. Swear to God.
Well, I think you were talking about the LA not having a football.
Oh, LA. Yeah. There's been so many different football teams in California, Oakland, LA, San Francisco, the Chargers, everything. So yeah. And I've seen the Rams from St. Louis at the time win their Super Bowl. And I knew the Bengals never won one. So I was leaning towards the Bengals if I was going to root for one. But I was real like, I wasn't going to be upset if the LA won,
Yeah, I would have been really fine, like, with either one winning, because the Bengals, like, the one thing about the Bengals is they never won. Obviously, it wasn't long ago that the greatest show on turf, they did win. That wasn't too long ago. So sometimes you just want to see different teams win. But I was fine either way. You just really want a good game, and that delivered.
Right, and so, like I haven't watched a lot this year. I have watched probably about half of the Green Bay games with Pops, and we'll get to the halftime, Courtney. We'll get to that. California. Watching about half of the games this year and knowing how the Packers did, I was like, it's a layup going to the Super Bowl, baby. And when they didn't, and that 1 week where every single game was decided by 4 points or less in the last 10 seconds, it was like really weird.
Really determined it. Could have went so many ways. The Chiefs could have wound up being here real easily. Frisco, really, like a lot of teams just barely missing out on getting here. But that's why you play the game.
Right. Did you have any money on the game? Did you do that or no?
I did not. No money on the game. The only thing I used to do, like in like pre-Panini, was like when they would do block pulls for like the scores and stuff like that, but didn't happen this year. But those are fun because they give it someone to watch. So let us know if you did. If you may have partaken a little of the gambling action.
Did you get a little win ski on the game?
Yeah. And sometimes a lot of that's by luck, obviously. It's just random drawings. So if you did a block pull or anything like that, let us know.
Yeah. So yeah, the game was fun. It was tight. It wasn't a slaughter. So it kept you on the edge of your seat, especially that last quarter. Excuse me. It was fun. I really didn't feel like either team had a leg up on either one. It was all, whoops, oh, gee, blew that drive, or, wow, this drive's taking forever, and then you didn't get in, and it's like, oh, man. So yeah, it was an interesting game. A lot of fun. It wasn't like the best game ever or nothing. It was just interesting to see.
But it was entertaining. It was entertaining. And
right.
Now, J-Bud, I know you're having some pizza rolls now, but what was on the old menu tonight?
That's it.
Oh, pizza rolls, all pizza rolls all the time.
Just a buttload of pizza rolls. I had a bag of it was like the Totino's 130 pack. And I made 2 massive trays of them. One for the first half, one for the second half. Mrs. J-Bone was looking at me like, dear Lord, you're going to be hurting later. So, I'm going to be.
Old man's going to be hurting.
We'll be chewing on some Tums later. No, I'll be all right. Wash it down with a little Brewfinity here.
Oh, the Brewfinity. We saw that on Thursday night.
It's if you like full flavored like IPAs, it's tasty.
Obviously, a local beer for the Boatman.
Yeah, I like to support local stuff. I don't do it a ton. This garbage bag in here. Got done cleaning up everything before the game, so I don't have to do it Monday morning when trash comes, because let me tell you, that sucks doing it on Monday morning when you're up late Sunday watching a pay-per-view or game or whatever, or doing this.
Yeah, we're not used. Yeah, a lot of the wrestling has been going on Sundays. So a big event on it. This is really the biggest event of the year is on a Sunday.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's talk about. I don't know how did you watch the halftime show? Did you like it? What did you think?
I did like the halftime show. Obviously, little different because I don't know if they've ever gone that much into the pure rap R&B. Like they've had pieces of it, but I don't know if they went full halftime show like that before. It was usually like a mix when they tried to get some like different things going on. But I thought it was pretty good. I was a fan. Like I don't know what you put as like the best halftime shows ever. Like Prince, that's up there. I go MJ back in the day up there. But it was good. It was good. I think it's going to be memorable more so than maybe some of the other ones we've seen maybe over the last handful of years.
This was fun, especially for where this was at. Number one, your home team, or actually, what's funny is LA was considered the away team. I'm not sure why, but it was. At least I think that's what they said at the beginning. But nonetheless, this was in LA. You had the LA Rams, and you had some like classic, nostalgic hip hop and rap from damn near 30 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like back when I was in high school. And
you're going pretty much back when the Rams were in LA the first time. Like Jim Everett and company.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's a classic name. So yeah, it was, I mean, and I wasn't like the biggest like gangsta hip hop rap guy back then, but it was all pretty popular. I mean, I love me some NWA back in the day. They didn't go full gangster. It was more towards the California hip hop rap scene. And you know, they kept it clean. They didn't go, you know, titties everywhere on the football field. They kept it clean, which was fine. Eminem was out there having fun. I think it's the only time he's ever been part of a halftime show, so that'd be pretty big for him. I don't think it was the first time for Snoop Dogg. I could be wrong, but I think it was first time for everyone else, if I had to take a guess. So, but yeah, I dug it. I thought it was all really clean, well done. Clean as in like looked clean, you know, but it had like the Google Maps skyline of LA on the field. That was trippy. That was kind of cool. It was like, oh my God, they're like back in, I mean, the stadiums in Inglewood, all of them, except for Eminem, are from Inglewood, you know, California. That's where that, you know, that brand was born.
Mm-hmm.
Compton, Inglewood, all that stuff. So that was interesting. And that had to be surreal for them. So I dug it. My wife, not a fan. Pop's not a fan, but whatever. I appreciated it.
It's obviously I think they go every year for something. Got to remember, they're still going for what we like to call in wrestling the casual fan, the person that's only watching this game every year. They don't watch every week football, so they're watching either for commercials or the halftime show. So you don't want to have the same type of music every year. Like there was a while where they were going with the classic rock acts every year. Then they're going with the pop acts every year. This was different, and I appreciate them doing something a little different.
Right. Yeah. And I tell you what was funny is the only thing critical that my wife said during it is she looked at Mary J. Blige and said, "Oh, she should not be wearing that." I was like, really? I'm like, she could have won Janet Jackson and had a nip slip. No, but no, I thought they all looked cool. You know?
Someone say critical?
Critical.
This is J-Bone said critical.
Yeah. So, yeah, that overall the game was fun. Halftime, pretty cool. The Wild Wild West. Commercials, I must have missed some because I was, cooking during part of some of them, but I think I missed the Doctor Strange. When I'm done doing this, I'll look that up and watch it. But I heard that aired.
Yeah, I think there's a certain voice that sounds familiar during that, so definitely check that out.
Oh. The trailer for Nope dropped last night. That's I can't think of
Jordan
the guy's
Peele?
name. Yes. Yeah.
That looks. So far, all of his movies have been pretty good, so I'm looking forward to that.
And I've never seen him.
Oh,
but I've been starting to really hear stuff about him, and then all of a sudden, Nope dropped last night, and I was like, whoa. And then I started looking up other movies that he did, and I was like, oh, he did this one. Oh, and he
you're
did
missing
this
out, J-Bone. With your type of taste in movies, with the kind of horror stuff, and all, you got to be checking him out.
Well, that's what I think is one of the
movies.
One of the headlines in an article that I read is that he is one of the new hot, like fresh horror brands to see, because he's coming out with all like original stuff, and that's so hard to do nowadays. And I appreciate that. Like I said, I like me some horror movies, but I skip a majority of them, and I'll go after specific kinds. Because, like, you've seen them all, when as old as I am, and you go back to the classics, it's like, it's like, all right, surprise me. That's hard to do. So, 50 Cent was looking like 85 cents. I don't know. Surrounded by all the hotties, he was looking like he didn't care how many cents he was. I'm just saying.
As long as he can still make change for $1, he's okay.
Because let me tell you, whether he's in the rap game or the acting game, 50 Cent, it looks like he's still got it. I don't know. He's just
Curtis.
The only Curtis I know from back in the day is a Curtis Blow.
There you go.
85 and in the club.
Well, I hear in the club, and there's a guy I could think of that would fit in the club, J-Bone.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Oh.
He would have fit right in there.
That's him.
He was probably loving it.
Thuggin' and a buggin', as they say. But I don't know if there was anything else from tonight you wanted to specifically mention, but I know there's a lot of other hotter topics out there from this weekend that we could certainly.
Oh, definitely. Because that is what the family dinner is all about. We might come with some topics, but also you in the chat, let us know anything you want to talk about. If there's something about the game we didn't talk about, throw it in the chat. We'll discuss. But right now, yeah, let's go with some hotter topics, as J-Bone just said.
Oh.
It's getting a little hot in here, J-Bone.
And it's I know I'm sweating. I am. It's getting hot in here. Oh, sorry. So I'll turn this light so no one goes blind in here. There we go. Turn that a little dimmer. So yes, the new. All right, so a brand that we don't talk about too much. NWA has now. You can call this a spoiler. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want. Everybody's talking about on social media. Now, whether you love them or whether you hate them, It's the biggest news coming out of the weekend. Bill, I hear a certain company has a new champ.
That is the oldest company in the biz. The National Wrestling Alliance and the 10 Pounds of Gold has a new title holder as Impact's very own Matt, don't call me Mid Cardona, is the new world champion in the NWA. Not only now a title holder in Impact Wrestling, he holds the 10 pounds of gold. And the question now is, will it make its way on Impact Television? Is the NWA, we know early on with Mickey James, they were working together pretty tight. Is this going to be a storyline that carries over, or will it be an ignored storyline? Because they'll be taping in less than a week. And they'll already have, by now, the tapings will have been over next week. So the timing works out pretty perfect. And we get the NWA title, a lot of TV exposure, which is not a bad thing. We've just seen that with Mickey James and the WWE, which we should also say, the WWE I saw as they were crowning the Rams, I saw the world title belt. Like, kudos to WWE for getting those world titles ready to give to the winning Super Bowl team. They're right there. You can't get better advertising than that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's right behind there. The Rock kicked off the festivities tonight.
Oh, let's talk about that just for a minute. And that is, you may not think about it as being controversial, but I'm going to say it's very controversial. Number one, you can look at The Rock and be like, oh, he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. They're in California, they're in LA, whatever. That's his, that's where, actors, the big names are. So it's appropriate. I thought of something else immediately. I was like, it's great to have The Rock do this. And now the wrestling fan in me said, oh, now wouldn't it be funny if all of a sudden you heard the glass shatter and Stone Cold came out on the field and introduced the other team? But that would have been too surreal. But The Rock introduced both. And I was like, isn't that funny, Bill?
Well, he more was like the MC. Like, because he like, you're right. Like, did you think he was like the LA guy or not? But man, if you're no shade at Stone Cold, but there's only one Rock, J-Bone.
No, that's true.
So whoever wasn't The Rock, like, you would have felt like you got gypped on your pregame introduction if The Rock just did one side.
But this is how I looked at it. And I'm curious to see if anyone else is going to have this side of it. He had one of the biggest freebies in all of advertising Super Bowl history. You know why? What does he own?
He owns the XFL.
He does. You had the owner of the XFL kick off this Super Bowl.
Well, I think that might show you that they're not really competing against one another like they were a couple of years ago. And they're more maybe like a minor league, you could say, a off-season football system. Because I think that's what they're trying to do, right, is follow like after the season type league. So working together a little bit more, probably.
And that's what it's supposed to start next spring, 2023. At least that's what I believe I heard.
So that's the thing. They're kind of restructured. Hey, getting involved, that's probably the best business sense, is to be like, remember, like when there was the World League in Europe and all, is kind of be a wing of the NFL. If you try to go against the NFL, eventually that's too much of a money-making machine. It's kind of similar in wrestling. If you go head-to-head with up north, eventually you lose. They just got too much money.
And Keith says the USFL starts in April. I thought that was done, or was that something else that
Well, the
started up?
USFL, if that's coming back, which it might, that was back in the 80s. That was when you had Donald and all those guys. But that also was a league that could not last.
No,
But that was the biggest competition. They were actually signing like Reggie White and stuff out of college instead of the NFL back in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
But then, so they had like a little room there where everyone's like, oh man, USFL. Philadelphia even had a team, the Stars. But then it folded.
Yeah, and it all has to do with advertising and sponsors. It's one of the biggest parts
That's the key.
And if you ever watched the special on the first XFL, that was a big part of that, why it folded. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. I'm like, the owner of the XFL is doing the intro, emceeing this Super Bowl. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like he hosted WrestleMania, now he hosted the Super Bowl. And once again, that will probably help the XFL get back off the ground because they're on the carpet right now, J-Bone. They're on the canvas. They're like Rocky. Will they get back up before Apollo? They need some help. And that's the key. If you try to get sponsors and take them away from the NFL, that will never happen. So that's not good business sense. You got to try to get on the back of those sponsors that are already with the NFL and get them to do the XFL. So The Rock is very smart with business. I think he's probably playing this the right way. To be successful. If you're thinking though, once again, like this is gonna, I don't like something in the NFL, I want the XFL to overtake it. Not in this lifetime.
Yeah, and I might have felt like that a few years ago, but yeah, I mean, if you want to think realistically, yeah. Like I just love the concept of the XFL, how they just let them play football. They're a lot more. Yeah, they're kind of like if you compare it to like a wrestling brand, they're kind of like an ECW,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. They started out with, and some stuff got adopted by the NFL. You do things a little differently. Maybe some things will change. So it could be for the better. There's no doubt. Just like the NFL's taken some stuff from the college game over the years, like overtime and stuff. So it definitely can be the benefit. And I will see what The Rock goes for his marketing message. If it's more like this is not like the NFL, I have a feeling it won't be. I think it's going to be more like it's like just give me more football. Here's some differences, but I don't think it's going to try to be dramatically different.
Right. And you play smaller stadium markets, whatever, and you stay realistic,
Well, yeah, before they were playing the same stadiums.
Oh, and then you just you're killing yourself by doing that. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's like an upstart wrestling promotion trying to play the big houses and then getting 20% full and being like, is that the way to do it? Or do you go play a smaller arena and fill it out?
Right. And that's what AEW was doing, Play to the 5,000 to 10,000 seaters.
Yeah.
Don't play to the 20,000, depending on the market you're in, unless it's really hot. But anyways, but yeah, super happy for Matt Cardona. He is on fire lately. Thank you, Courtney, for the super sticker. Thank you. Very much. Cheers. Norman Smiley. Well, how do you do? What else you got any other thoughts on
Cardona? I know someone mentioned it a while back here. He took his gear and then the promo pics after wore an homage to Christian winning the NWA title years ago.
Yeah.
So kudos to Cardona on that.
Yeah.
Giving a little CC love.
Oh, yeah. I know there's some people wondering, like, okay, so like VSK was there last night, and who's the big guy that was with him? Knox? Is that?
Well, yeah, I think he's in NWA, so that would make sense.
No, I'm just saying is that who that was? I was trying to think who the big
I'm
guy
not
was.
sure who the big guy was.
I think it's Knox. But he used to be in TNA, handful plus years with the menagerie, whatever it was.
Yeah, so that's what it was. It was the Against All Odds 2006, where Christian beat Double J. It was Mike Knox.
Thank you, Mike Knox. Yeah. People wondering if he's going to follow Cardona to Impact Wrestling for a certain period of time, like for muscle, but I don't know. He certainly could.
Yeah, he was. He wasn't the Aces and Eights. Maybe D'Lo's bringing back the band. He needs reinforcements. He's got to get revenge on those Honor No More hooligans.
Yeah, right.
But this is interesting because I did see this as well. Justin brings up NWA is doing some shows coming up, and they're going to be filming in Skyway Studios, the home of Impact Wrestling, during a lot of those past 18 months.
Yeah, during the Panini. It's and it's not just exclusive to Impact. No. It's for everyone. It's what it's for. But Corgan probably looked at what Impact was doing, was like, "Ooh, I like that."
Yeah, I can get some crowds here. So who knows? We might see maybe some people that were going to that for Impact. Maybe they go there too. So it would make sense that they're going to Nashville. Maybe, although the interesting thing is, and I got to see, I don't know if you guys did the specific dates, because it would be interesting. He's now NWA champion. But if he has Impact dates that are the same as any of those, where's his priority? I think it's still Impact. But yet he might be NWA World Champion, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see where he's going to defend it all. Like, does he do what Jonathan Gresham is doing and defend it all over the place? That's up to Corgan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's not up to him. But if it was up to Myers, I'm sure he would defend it all over the place. But you got to be careful with that, because you got to stay healthy, and you start carrying all these belts, you got to make sure you stay safe, because once you become unhealthy and you're holding all these belts, guess what? You drop them all. And then what?
Yeah, well, he's been doing so much indie work. I can't remember when Nick Aldis was champion. He was not really doing any indies. So, and I don't know if Trevor Murdoch's really been out there doing indies either. So I'm not sure if that's the one caveat to this, because I can't imagine, sort of like Tony Khan and AEW, never wanting his guys to take losses on indies, even if they're barely on TV. I can't imagine Corgan wants his champion to ever take a loss.
Well,
yet I saw Matt Cardona, and kudos to him. He put over a kid. He lost at my farmer's market when I saw him there within the last year.
Wow.
Like he put over a kid. Like, I think he's doing a lot of that on the indies. So now with that belt, I can't imagine that's in the cards. If it was, because then you're like, whoa, the 10 pounds of gold, what's that mean? Even if it's not on the line, even if he doesn't even bring it with him, it's just he is the title holder right now. So you really can't have him lose. Like, that's one thing I will agree with. When you're a world champion of a major promotion, you can't go around losing matches. Clean.
Right. And that's the thing. I think he beat. I mean, I didn't see the whole match. I saw clips, clips.
Yeah,
of
from the finish, it was a clean finish. I don't know if there were shenanigans going into that. But
yeah, that's the thing is Murdoch was bleeding. So I was like, oh, what happened?
Now, it's definitely something to look into. Well, it's going to be interesting to see these next couple weeks because we'll know, like I said, a week from today, New Orleans will be in the books. So No Surrender, the TV tapings, how they use Cardona. Like we know there's the rematch of No Surrender, digital media title on the line against Jordan Grace, the rematch. Does he come out with the NWA title?
Yeah.
It will be very interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Justin here saying Nick Aldis did come out and invoke his rematch clause at the Crockett Cup.
Yeah, and that'll be a big defense for Matt Cardona. That'll let you know real quick how serious Corgan is about Matt Cardona. Is he going to be a flash in the pan like he was with GCW? Or is it going to be, no, we're going to keep it on him for, at least through the summer or something,
Yeah. Now, and Jabo, you might know this. Bonus Baby, I'm not sure what belt you're talking about here. He says Cardona versus Mox, title versus title. Does Mox have a title right now somewhere?
Mox doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Mox doesn't have a title.
Okay. Because I don't think he holds any of the New Japan titles right now. Tanahashi's the U.S. champion now. So just want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, and Mox just came back. The only thing Mox can really brag about.
Oh, you know what? He might be saying GCW title.
Oh,
yeah,
is he?
Okay.
Wait, I thought.
No, he went against Homicide in New York, so he still has the belt. So yeah, you're going with the. You're transitioning this over to GCW. Okay, I thought you were going in the other direction.
Oh,
but he's still doing GCW. He could bring this to GCW. That'd be interesting as well. But obviously, we're thinking Impact first. But yeah, if they brought this carryover into GCW, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if Corgan wants to do that. He's got to be real careful with that because.
But you know that's going to end up like there's no way Mox, like Tony's not, even if he holds no title, so you would think he could lose to Cardona. I can't imagine that getting approval from the Jacksonville office. Keith, he did in the past, but he had lost it back again, the title. He beat Nick Gage. I saw him do it. The crowd was not happy, but I was. And I'm a big Gage fan now, but
that makes some news.
Team Impact. I had to support Team Impact.
Like no matter what you think of GCW, I mean it's still their top title. So.
Oh yeah.
All right, so he's got a lot of belts. This is what 4 or 5 belts he's got now.
He's got a lot of belts now because he's got obviously the Impact Digital Media, the NWA. Yeah. He's still got the internet title he carries. I think he's the AIW champion. He might have some more.
AIW, that's it.
Yeah, that's
what I haven't watched a lot.
Well, I don't know if they put a lot on out there. Like, are they probably through one of the streaming services they're on? I see here Jeff Jarrett also involved with the Crockett Cup. So
yeah, interesting. The last time they had like a big anniversary, I think he made an appearance or something. Jeff's been getting his face out there again.
Yes.
I feel like something's going on with him. I don't know what.
It's a 20-year anniversary, J-Bone. Do we see Jeff Jarrett involved with Impact in any capacity this year?
I wouldn't be surprised. This is
anniversary makes too much sense for him to be involved somewhat.
And this is a different Jeff Jarrett. This isn't I'm going to go down to AAA, toss a bunch of tortillas around and embarrass myself on a pay-per-view scale. This is different. I mean, last time he did that, he got kicked out of his own company. Anthem just was like, see ya, go home. We're done with you. You embarrassed the shit out of us. And he went into rehab. Next thing we know, he's going into WWE Hall of Fame And after that, he was with him for a couple of years as a producer. Well, he's not a producer anymore, but he is trying to get his own brand back out there. He's got his own pro wrestling tees store, and he's kind of advertising himself as like one of the last outlaws in wrestling, which I think is actually kind of cool. You know?
It's a full circle on the Double J gimmick.
It is, and it's not a corny take on it.
No, it's a
not
mature,
super carny. No,
take.
it's got kind of a Dusty Rhodes kind of feel to it, you know. That's the highest compliment I think I can pay it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him come in and like show up and do something.
That's what I see. Like, I don't see like a long run or anything like that, but I feel he'll get brought in somewhere at some point. The dude,
like somewhere between Rebellion and Slammiversary, I can feel it.
Yeah, like, because Rebellion, we'll see. Like, I have a feeling that could be a very big show. It's not New York City, but it's the New York market still. So they could really try to put a lot into that show. As that pay-per-view that's going to lead into Slammiversary, which is now the biggest show of the year for Impact. I think that's where, like, this is the road to Rebellion right now. They're doing the touring. You're getting big angles, big names. The ratings are up overall. So I think that's where you're going to see big Rebellion and an even bigger emphasis going into Slammiversary. It feels like that could be the key time frame. And I will get into, it's not like a news topic, but it's more, I'm reading some tea leaves, J-Bone.
Oh.
Because I was at an indie show, PPW in Broadheadsville, not too far, like 45 minutes from me. And they had a show last night, the former Killer Cross, who I like to get on from time to time. He was in the main event with Davey Richards. So I think that's probably a walkthrough, because I believe Killer Cross is being advertised for MLW. My guess is he has a match with Davey Richards. That's why they had it there. So that's probably going to happen, because I saw, now I can kind of give, I think I said it on this show, but not on the main show. When Deanna's open challenger was Rachel Ellering, I had seen that match at this same promotion last month. So I've seen that match twice. It was probably the same match almost. It was probably a walkthrough for what they were going to do in Impact. But the next show announced in March, Maria, Mike Bennett announced, Heath Slater, well, the former Heath Slater, now just Heath, announced. But Taya Valkyrie announced.
Oh.
For this show, March, I believe the 13th, a Saturday, March the 13th. So, you're wondering, what tea leaves am I reading into this? What's the week after? Broadheadsville, PA. You're not too far from Philadelphia, PA.
Oh.
Following weekend, 2 sets of TV tapings. My guess, Taya debuts in Philadelphia. Maybe before that, but I think that that booking makes me think Taya will be definitely at the Philadelphia tapings. Could she show up? Like, well, her clause is already over. She could show up tomorrow. So she could be at New Orleans, and this just kind of brings it together. I haven't looked that close, but I definitely think she'll be in Philadelphia regardless. Will that be her debut? Not sure, but I think she'll definitely be in Philadelphia based on that booking.
Norman, I'm just going to call you silly. You're a little silly. You're a little silly there. He's had a few too many Super Bowl brewskis, Bill.
Oh.
If you haven't watched TNA / Impact Wrestling in 10 years, you really don't know what you're talking about. So, I mean, hey, we're not going to tell you haven't watched that long. Don't come back, because we dig the product. But come on, I mean, let's be grown ups here. Let's.
Well, the thing I've noticed lately, for some reason, there has been a lot of people on social media talking about the companies, like usually in relation to WWE or AEW, and at some point someone will bring up like Impact or something. Like when people will say, "Oh, WWE hasn't had competition," all of a sudden there's competition. There's really not competition yet, but people will say there's competition for them. But then they'll be like, well, Impact was competing with them just as much as AEW is right now years ago. And they'll be like, well, I stopped watching them because Jeff Hardy versus Sting made me stop watching TNA, which is okay. All right. That's one match. You're going to say that made you stop watching a company. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. But my guess is the next post from that person is like, well, I hope Jeff Hardy shows up at AEW next week.
Right. It's like,
are you going to not watch AEW? Sting's there. If Jeff Hardy's there too, are you not going to watch them because they were involved in Victory Road?
Oh, yeah.
I think people, they don't want to like things. So they just kind of use, it's just like statistics or whatever you want to use to go with an argument. You can make it whatever you want to be, really.
Yeah.
But TNA is still around, Zach. That is confirmed. It's always, Impact, the TV show, became the company after the whole Global Force debacle.
There's a lot of people that still call it TNA, but it's like, hey,
which is fine.
Yeah. Same brand, but it's a completely different company now.
There you go. And Norman here saying he's not a hater. And that's good. But even if people were, if you didn't like it, I think there's people that didn't like WWF, WWE at times that may have come back to being fans. WCW, ECW, maybe even AEW already, if they've been around now a couple years. Ring of Honor. You may liked eras of it. Because obviously everything's not always great no matter which company you like to support. There could be lean weeks, months, years.
Max Turner says, question. I'm new here, guys. Bill and J-Bone. Do you think Steve Macklin attacked Gresham to be in team, the Impact team? And also, do you see Bill that Scott D'Amore turn heel and join Honor No More? That's a different take. Let's answer that first question. I know that was certainly the take of
Alicia thought that.
Like, oh, how convenient it was.
Convenient.
Yeah.
But what's your take, J-Bone? Do you think it was that convenient, or do you think there was something else?
It certainly could have been, but if he wanted to be on the team, why wouldn't he attack someone from the other team? So I don't think that's what makes me think he didn't.
Because he heard maybe he knew the rumblings that they wanted Gresham to be on the team. Well, you're saying why didn't he go after an Honor No More guy?
Right. If the thinking is he attacked Gresham and he wanted to be on Team Impact, why wouldn't he have attacked Taven, PCO, someone? Mm-hmm. So I don't think it was Macklin.
You don't think it was Macklin?
No,
I don't think it was Macklin either. I think someone brought up the idea, well, maybe it was like Gresham for some reason. I'm not trusting Gresham in this storyline. I feel Gresham's been too laissez-faire about Honor No More. He almost doesn't want to get involved with them. He's like doing his own thing.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Like, all right, I'm acting above this, but they're your boys from the past. You gotta take a stand here. You got Steve Macklin in the back talking about honor and code Reds, J-Bone. But yet, you got Gresham here. He's not doing anything.
He's
so
he's an island on his own.
Man, Macklin, I didn't have really a negative or positive thought. I did like that. I like to call him snug in the ring, where I thought he was really laying into stuff. And I was like, I like that. But then this storyline, I'm really liking Macklin. Like he's showing me big potential future star vibes in this storyline.
He's showing some character.
He's shown some great character work, and I could see him being not this year, but this storyline elevating him next year. Like that guy could be a world champion in 2023.
Somewhere within the next year or two, absolutely.
Like he's got the tools. He had the in-ring. I wasn't sure initially because I wasn't familiar with him that much on the promo work. I thought his promo work keeps excelling, and I think you need someone like that. He's just intense, and I like the intensity.
Yeah.
So now he's on Team Impact. It's going to be real interesting. We talk about it every week on the review show. That's one of the biggest angles at Impact right now is the Honor No More, the Ring of Honor versus Impact feud. And he's now front and center in that feud with Josh Alexander being sent home. So this is his thing. Like he's on the spot, and it's going to be a big thing for Mr. Macklin. And while we were mentioning him, we should say congratulations to Mr. Mayhem, Steve Macklin, and the Virtuosa on announcing their engagement. So congrats. There you go. He put a ring on it.
He loves us, so he put a ring on it. All right, that's not how the song goes anyway.
They're close.
Because I know my hip-hop.
But the other part of that was healed the more, J-Bone. Him sending Scott home, you heard the fans, not me. I respect the coach too much. But I wasn't particularly happy with the coach either. But he was being serenaded by some unkind chants after sending the walking weapon home. Could this be the beginning of the heel coach we began to see in the NWA TNA?
It certainly could be. It's, because we're doing the tail end of the Asylum days in our reviews on Monday nights now. And those first, few months of Team Canada, they're so fun to watch, and Coach is so hilarious. And I could see Scott D'Amore slowly reverting back into that, but it's hard to say.
Agreed.
Hey, J-Bone.
Uh-oh, it's Coach.
I'm the coach.
I'm the coach. And you're Italian all of a sudden.
Oh, that's a Giuseppe, not to me. Hold on, let me get the coach. Hey, J-Bone.
Oh, hey, Coach.
Forget that guy. He wasn't me. He was the IPWF.
Was that your twin sister?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man.
Oh, Canada.
Thanks for coming, Coach.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's hard to tell what's, and I know one of the biggest questions going on right now is because he sent Josh home. And Josh put it out there within the last couple of weeks. Hey, I'm free from this month to this month and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, okay, now we get it. So, and I know there's a storyline to go along with this. It's just really hard to tell exactly what's going on. So it's frustrating, but it's exciting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just looking back on Thursday, man, that was some of the most intense promo stuff we've seen in the last few years.
You're right. It was an intense promo to start off that show last week. And that's another one, Josh. He's really been doing great work promos from his run to champion since he got screwed by Moose. It's been a ride there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Josh. Obviously, we know we're not going to see him, it seems, for a little bit. Yeah. But how that resolves itself will be really interesting to see.
Yeah. So
and there's the rumors out there on his contract. Maybe up, maybe not up.
Yeah, because I mean it's what, 3 years now?
Which the coach made a big point of saying it was 3 years ago I offered you that 3-year deal. So
yeah. Oh, you know whose anniversary also just came up, and I saw it on the old the Twitter box, if you will. Ace Austin was putting up some old clips.
Ace.
That was pretty cool. So it's like, oh man, 3 years.
3 years. So we got anniversaries, we got birthdays. Got to give a shout out to Chris Bay. Happy birthday to Chris Bay, as well as Thomas of the Dreams. Tommy Dreamer also sharing birthday today.
Oh.
A lot of things going on here as we get into this final week till No Surrender, J-Bone. And I know people are looking forward to Jay White. You would think he's been in the news lately, J-Bone. Jay White versus Eric Young and No Surrender.
I'm pretty stoked for that. And there's a lot of Impact fans that are like confused about what's going on. They think that Tony Khan's just stealing him from Impact Wrestling. It's like, no, it's called Jay White wants to get paid, so he's going to show up wherever he can.
Yeah, Jay White is like, yeah, he has a tour here where he's stateside, so he's doing pretty much as many dates as he can with whoever.
Yeah. So, put up Dan Rick's question here.
All right. Question, Bill and J-Bone. Do you guys think this is slowly built to a Josh Alexander heel turn? And say this because Scott D'Amore is taking advantage of him, so when he's ready, he's going to snap or join. Definitely could lead to a heel turn, J-Bone. Obviously, we know Josh isn't happy with the coach. That he's been he never got his rematch. He's been kind of just putting, as he likes to say, things in his way. He's been putting these guys to just block him from his goal of becoming world champion.
Obstacles.
Lots of obstacles, J-Bone. So what do you think? Do you think this is potentially a heel turn? See, but I think most of the fans are on Team Josh thinking these obstacles.
I think it's a test from the coach, and the coach is trying to build him up to be the biggest guy he possibly can. And then I think in the long run, it is going to turn into a Team Canada thing. But that's where it gets fuzzy for me, is I can't tell exactly if it's supposed to be like a heel thing or just turn him into like the biggest badass from, Canada, like a Stone Cold type character, I'm not saying he's going to come down with a vest and jeans and throw a beer around. I'm not saying that, but
No, I'm with you, Jay. Because I think the same thing. I don't know if there is a Team Canada again, if it has to be heel, really. Depending on who's in there. But I think you're right. I think in Scott's mind, he's doing this for Josh's own benefit. But Josh isn't seeing that right now. But maybe, hey, if it pays off in a title run, he might be all-team coach again. Maybe that was the way. And since we're talking about Josh, and is he a free agent? Is he going to skip town, as many people fear? Critical Sting here is talking too. He has a comment. I was listening to this week's Talking Shop, and the Good Brothers were talking about how Josh and Ethan went in different directions since the North, and they made it sound like Josh was already re-signed. Now, that shouldn't surprise you because there were many other individuals that came out that made it sound like Josh was re-signed a couple months ago. But then all of a sudden, a lot of that stuff seemed to go away. So could this all be a work on us? Very well could be. It seemed like he was re-signed. But since it was originally there, and it seems like the dirt sheets don't know much of anything out there, because what do we think about the dirt sheets, J-Bone?
They're not too good. You know, a lot of them just put out stuff for the sake of putting stuff out first, and it's not right. You know, each sheet is trying to get their own exclusives, which is fine, but you got to take them all with a grain of salt. And I'll look to the sheets when it's as far as like a news thing, like, oh, so and so just signed with so and so. Oh, okay. And then you watch for the company to say something or someone else to say something to give it more weight.
Yeah, which is Impact is tough right now because they really don't confirm signings.
No, not like they used to. You know, you'd hear like every other week, you'd hear like, oh, you know, Bram just signed another contract. You know,
it's 2006.
Right. So yeah, I think we just, you know, I always preach patience for wrestling fans. This is one of those where we're just gonna have to be patient and play the long game on this and see what happens. I have no doubt that he's gonna stay. It's just gonna be interesting to see what story they tell through this, because I think it's all gonna wind back to Moose. But I also don't think Moose is going to hang on to that title forever. So I don't know. It's a lot of different things going on right now. You got the invasion angle. You got the Bullet Club. It's all these little things going on. The women's division is hot. New faces showing up.
Definitely.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we've been looking for Team Canada and the return of the Aces and Eights for a while, Charles.
Morales.
Hey, it's nephew.
Oh, what's up?
Good chat.
Morales Vlogs. It's my birthday today. J-Bone knows my name. It's Luis. Oh, Luis, what's up, man? Happy birthday
from the
bone and the crew.
Whoa. T. Hughes getting controversial. Would you be happy if Impact signed Flip Gordon? J-Bone, I have an opinion on this, but I'll let you go first.
I used to be a really big Flip Gordon fan back around the time of, like, say, All In. And it was, you know, like the big storyline was, oh, well, we got to get him on the show. Is he on the show? And he fought his way onto the show during the show, and he won the pre-show battle royal or whatever it was. And then, so then he got a shot at, what was it, the Ring of Honor title, which Jay Lethal was holding at the time? Something. It was something like that. So I was like a big fan of Flip Gordon at the time, but then you haven't really, I've barely heard anything about Flip within the last couple years. Like all of his stuff is in the clearance rack at the ringofhonor.com. I don't see him out there. I know he's got to be doing indie dates. I'm sure he's doing something out there.
Yeah, I first started seeing him years ago before it was in Ring of Honor at Northeast Wrestling. And where like Taven and Bennett, they were kind of holding their craft with the Kingdom. And I initially athletic, seemed pretty good in the ring. I was like, okay, all right, there's a guy there. But then it seemed like during the whole Ring of Honor, Bullet Club, Elite angle, I don't know what happened there with Flip. I don't know if he then thought too much of his abilities, but it seemed like he got overexposed at that point. And it seemed like that's just at this point. Then I know, like a great comment here from Critical Sting. Flip Gordon? Question? We just let TJP walk, like, because I know he's spouted some views on things, Flip Gordon, and I know, like, social media wise, he's not been a very popular person. But TJP is actually a hell of a wrestler. Flip Gordon, I don't think's on the level of TJP. So I would definitely not. See, Stig says Flip was stuck in that Bully Ray feud. Yeah, you get stuck in a Bully Ray feud. That's not usually good for you as a wrestler. So maybe that hurt him, but I think he held himself back in a lot of ways. So I wouldn't be in a rush. Like if he came in for like an appearance at a set of tapings, I wouldn't really have an issue with it. But I don't see him like with a contract or a long-term storyline in it.
Maybe a BTI match.
Yeah. Throw him a bone. Hey, let your new boy, Jack Talos, beat him up.
Oh, yeah. Just let Talos just give him a boot to the face.
But he is Ring of Honor for the most part. So he could come in on Honor No More storyline. But I'm not the biggest fan of his.
Oh, what if he's running the Honor No More crew?
Oh, come on. He doesn't have the capacity, J-Bo.
He doesn't have the cojones.
Let me just take a look through here. There were some more comments.
I saw somebody had Bobby. Here.
Bobby. Question from K-Bone. Since Deonna Purrazzo beat Santana Garrett during her open challenge for a Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, who is next challenge for Deonna Purrazzo? Now this is an interesting question. As of now, not booked for No Surrender.
I think she's going to do an open challenge, and we're going to get
Surrender. And could that be the return of Taya Valkyrie? That's what it's feeling like, J-Bone.
It's going to be Taya. Okay, well, we'll say if she's doing this open challenge thing, which she has been doing, which she did it once. Wait, was it more than once? It was just once, right?
Just once so far.
Okay. So she does it again. I know a lot of people want Taya to come back, but there's a couple names floating around out there that it's all subjective. Everyone has their different opinions on who's better or who they like more. There's 3 potential big names that could come in and challenge Deonna. Taya, of course. Athena is another one. Because honestly, I think she could go either as far as like getting signed by someone. I think she could go either way. I think she could go AEW, which they need strong women for that division, or join the best, women's division in wrestling, Knockouts division.
And we've already had one Palmer. We have a second Palmer. I might be more okay with this Palmer.
Oh, that's right. She's Mrs. Palmer, isn't she? Wait, are they together? Are they married or what?
I believe they're married.
Are they married? Okay. Mrs. Palmer. And then there's another name tied to someone else who just showed up on AEW. You could say you could bask in his glory. Well, I'm sure the fans would like to bask in the glory of his missus on the Knockouts roster. So we'll see. Then that's
well, you're talking that Mia Yim, former Jade, former member of the Dollhouse. had that great cage match with Rosemary.
Strong presence there. Yeah.
She'd be a nice. The only thing I'm not sure about No Surrender, my only thing by saying maybe not Taya. I feel Taya, because remember, she also has that AAA title, which makes a lot of sense for Taya in a storyline. That feels like a rebellion, probably a Rebellion to Slammiversary match. Like, I think you would promote that. You wouldn't be a surprise. Like, I know Sting said earlier about a surprise with Taya for a live crowd. I think, like, the inspiration, you tease that ahead of time, Taya's return. Like, it would be a nice pop for there, but I think you put that into TV for a couple weeks into a big pay-per-view. That's what I would do. So I for some reason I'm thinking it's not. I think it could be someone that has a short program this time around, but I think there will be a debut against Deanna. For sure.
Yeah, that's my guess. Yeah, and it's all up in the air. You know, I don't think it's a definite on any of them. I think they all got a pretty even swing as far of a vote there. What's up, Aaron Jack? How you doing? Norman Smiley, how do you know about Keith Lee as a good indie wrestler and not know if the beautiful people are still in TNA? I mean, come on, dude.
Oh, now this is interesting. I honestly didn't even notice this.
Just teasing you, man.
According to Aaron Jack, there's been TNA Tuesdays on Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel.
Yes, that's the new thing that started a couple. Yeah, that's like their launch day for throwing different pay-per-views out there, classics.
Sounds familiar to a concept we know about.
Sure does.
Oh, and then here, supposedly this is, I know what she was in the audience at NXT. Roxy, who was recently, that's where Deanna won the Ring of Honor World title. Supposedly Roxy is offered a contract. She's definitely down at NXT.
I'm sure she's going.
Oh, yeah, and then there was did you get a chance to see the BTI match, David?
Not yet, no.
All right.
No, but I saw what happened post, and that was the official on-screen debut of Giselle Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't even know who won.
Well, where can people find more information on what you think about Jack Talos, J-Bone?
Well, that as of yesterday, that match is finally free. So just go to Impact Wrestling's YouTube page and you can find the VSK versus Jack Talos. But I was preaching about it like for several days beforehand because I was just like, I mean, do I think he's going to be like the next Killer Cross? No, but he has a lot of potential.
Yeah, now I don't know the date. I don't know if anyone here knows it, but a couple in the chat, Bonus Baby T. Hughes saying that Taya against Deanna is already on the books happening. So that would make more sense to start getting the storyline involved in Impact. So do we know a date on when that is?
Date on what? I'm sorry, Bill. I was reading something.
AAA show between Deanna and Taya Valkyrie.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I feel like that match has been promoted for a while, but I don't know when the date is. Just seeing here. We got any more comments here? Last chance for comments. We usually keep the show at about an hour.
Mark's getting riled up in the chat here. We're getting votes against Norman.
He's wriggling.
Poor Norman. It's not my call. It's all right.
He's not a hater. He's not a hater.
Mark is feeling sassy tonight, apparently.
Jay, but do you see a Queen of the Mountain match? We haven't seen a King of the Mountain in a while either. But do you see they built the cage last year for No Place Like Home, J-Bone? Do you see it being used at some point with because they did do the Ultimate X for the knockouts? Do you think they would go to the a Queen of the Mountain at some point?
It's not a bad idea. I like when they do that. I like when they come up with something new for the knockouts to do, but they don't overdo it. You know, they're not like, oh, this month we got to do this, and oh no, this month we got to do that. No, you're not getting super gimmicky because then the knockouts look like, oh, then they're gimmicky, you know, and you take them less seriously. If you do it like once a year and really work on something big and special, I think that's cool. Save it for one of the big fours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. I'm done with that.
Yeah, because I think we need that. We need a lockdown, which we know is going to be at Windsor in March of 20. So I think there's a few concepts that are out there.
And didn't they do they used to do once a year lockdown and involve some of the women's matches, didn't they?
They did. And that seems like a lot of people are wondering about knockouts and other things like the Honor No More storyline. Do you think women should get involved? Should knockouts be involved? Like you have Maria on the Honor No More line, but you haven't had any knockouts really involved in the storyline. And should there be the fight for the Impact honor? I wouldn't disagree with that. It's a good point by Sting.
Yeah, it does feel like there's something missing there. I mean, Maria's feels more
she's
like
more
a manager.
Yeah, she's the manager. She's the mouthpiece.
And we don't have a women's in-ring.
Yeah, like who would and the funny thing is you talk about some of the women from Ring of Honor that could come over. Like if it's Angelina Love, yeah, she was part of Ring of Honor, but she's still a TNA Impact more so than anything else. So if she were to come over, it would feel like she should be on the other side. She shouldn't be on Ring of Honor side.
Yeah.
And if anyone was going to do it, you had, honestly, that would be Deanna should be the person for Impact. Because remember, she was they attacked Matthew Raywald, which we should mention. He's saying this will probably be his last year of in-ring competition.
Right. He's leaning more towards probably commentary and or coaching.
And speaking of commentary, Tom Hannafan has already said he's going to be working for ESPN. It seems like in conjunction with Impact. But congrats on Tom Hannafan getting a gig. I don't know if it's going to be like the coach, like when Coachman was up there. I believe ESPN News, I heard. He might be like an anchor on some of the ESPN News content.
No, he was doing play-by-play, or I don't know what you call it. He was calling some college game.
Okay.
Some college basketball.
He'll be doing certain events for ESPN.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think it's like a super major TV move. It's just I think they might be testing him. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he'll be excuse me, he'll be doing that's right, Justin Miller. ESPN Radio, college ball.
ESPN
it's
Radio.
just one game right now, but I think I think they're just feeling him out, see how he does, But congrats to him. He's very excited about it.
Yeah, maybe that's where
great voice.
Sacrifice March 5th. It's live, leads into the Philly tapings, and then build up to Rebellion. I could get with that. Oh, there you go. Terrence mentioning he did a great job on Michigan versus Ohio State basketball game last night on ESPN Radio.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Very nice.
Terrence checked it out. Cool.
Nice to see. Let me just see if I miss any comments.
Oh yeah. Put Paul's up there.
Paul.
And then put Aaron Jacks up there because Aaron Jack doesn't get in here much.
When is D'Lo coming? Ooh, unknown. He was taken out. I would think soon. If it goes beyond this set of tapings with no D'Lo update, that's what we call a very hard sell. Maybe too hard of a sell.
Well,
I
do
need
you
a
think
status
he just
update on D'Lo.
do you think he just stays in back as a coach / booker?
Well, that's what he was doing down in Florida. So I assume because he pretty much is the I think he's heavily involved in whoever's being brought in for a lot of stuff. So he could do that because right now, and maybe that's what changed things like that. The Drama King is saying he's not really going to do as much in ring. Maybe this was like a planned kind of succession that he was going to go more on color commentary. Do they try a 3-man or do they use D'Lo in more of a storyline here with the Honor No More angle? It feels like with that coming to a head and no surrender, I feel like if we don't see D'Lo, he at least gets mentioned at No Surrender as part of the storyline because he was like the first guy they took out.
Yeah. I feel like that was a way to work him off TV, especially if we know that
if that's the end, we don't see him really on TV going forward again. I feel like we just need an update at least on what D'Lo's up to.
Yeah, hopefully they will.
Johnny Bravo was shot and came back quicker than this.
Yeah. I got a feeling it's just a change in the guard, But
it could be something like Sam Beal. He got written off TV and never heard from again. Yeah. That's same thing with Hernandez. So
right.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
So let me go back to Aaron Jack's comment here.
I don't mind going a little longer tonight just because this is so folks, the reason why we're doing a freebie tonight is we do this once in a while to get if you enjoy what you're seeing tonight, we do this every Sunday night. It's one of the exclusives on Patreon. So if you dig it, that link is in the description.
Yes. Join. Now, I know I was talking about this a little while ago about lockdown. There was supposed to be a lockdown. It didn't happen. It was the first show canceled due to Panini Times. Right after the Atlanta tapings, which were the last set of tapings. Yeah. So I'm definitely down with lockdown coming back. It's just, would they do that for one of these? Could Louisville? Could they do Sacrifice but they probably would have called a lockdown though instead of Sacrifice. So what would be the next set? It would be Post Rebellion. Could they do it at one of those? Maybe. It's interesting with these short taping schedules. Would they go an extra day? It's going to be interesting to see what they do post Rebellion. Do they go with the same type of taping schedule, or was this a test? And did they pass or fail the test on deciding to go this, or do they start mixing? Do they go a day longer going forward? Do they go a different loop of cities going forward? Do they mix in? Do they do any studios again? All things to consider.
Yeah. All right. I want to address this. Listen, this isn't arguing. So Midnight Murder says, longtime watcher of the show, I don't agree with banning people with differing opinions. Number one, we didn't ban him because he had a different opinion. You can have your different opinion. But if you look back at the early part of the conversation, his first thing coming in here was trolling. So that right off the back was a strike against you. So, opinions is fine. We can all discuss different opinions. You can have yours. I can have mine. Bill can have his, and I'll fire him next week. But no, I'm kidding.
You fire people, J-Lo.
I fired Trent for a lot less. No. But no, we did not ban someone for a different opinion. It's how they came across in the chat.
Yeah, it's always a slippery slope. The differences. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah. So no, just to get that straight. I don't be like, oh, what's up with these guys? What it's their way, or
I'm with you. I'm with you. But yeah.
Midnight Mercy says he doesn't think Norman was trolling. You got to look at all of his statements, okay? So that's all I'm going to say, and that's where we're going to drop it. So, all right.
Yeah, like obviously we're doing the show, so we're not paying as much of attention to the chat. So I don't know. I'm probably the most lax of anybody, but I'll trust what the chat and the moderators look at there.
Right.
I'm looking for questions and comments.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to
Bob.
Are you happy to Impact brought in all belts for the women and men and will complain about new titles? What do you think? And who will face Matt next? Cardona, I say Black Taurus. Black Taurus, who's going to be facing Jonah at the next one. I guess that is a good question. What is Cardona's after? Well, he obviously has Jordan Grace rematch, and I guess that's the question. Do you think he retains or not?
Oh, is that official?
Where do you think he goes? I believe. Which one? Jonah Taurus or Cardona Jordan?
No, I know Jonah Taurus is official. That was official on Thursday.
Yeah. Jordan and Cardona is official for No Surrender.
Okay.
So that would be because obviously there are, with Ring of Honor belt being here, the AAA belt being here, there are more titles right now in Impact. The digital media title. I don't think any more titles are needed for storylines.
Yeah.
If he brings the NWA title, fine. But I'm not one of the ones that always says we need more titles. With pretty much a 2-hour TV show, they got plenty of titles.
Well, especially when you got all these confrontations going on. Some of these confrontations are bigger than some of the titles that we got going on right now. Like the Bullet Club thing, I feel like that's huge. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
And so and that's an example of, good storytelling. Like if you got enough stories going on, and I know some people want a certain extra, like mid title, whatever. When you got all this stuff going on, I feel like you don't even need it. And that's just, when you've got enough stories going on,
Mm-hmm.
If they're big enough.
Yeah, you don't you don't have to. But let's see. I'll just go because there was another comment on Black Taurus and yeah, like and what are your thoughts? Because Jonah has obviously he lost the match to Josh, but he's been dominant otherwise. So I don't know if this is looking good for Black Taurus. It feels like Jonah's probably going to make life difficult for Black Taurus. So obviously, if Black Taurus gets a win here over Jonah, it'd be huge for him and Decay. But I feel Jonah's going to be riding high in this match. So It's almost like, is it time? Do they need to add another person into Decay after possibly what happens here? Like, does Decay need to get freshened up?
Yeah.
I think that's possible. I think that's definitely possible. Here, but let's see. Feel like there's. All right. Oh yeah, there was another one just because a lot of people here. Maj here. We like to see feud with Jonah and Black Taurus. Do you like it? Now, what do you think about this? Obviously, we just saw it in recent weeks as Decay was coming out as our good friend here, Johnny Swinger, got mauled by Jonah, and then Crazy Steve almost did. So Decay's been inserting themselves into this storyline. And I guess that's the thing. Maybe Black Taurus comes out on top because Decay, who's been face now for a while, could they maybe interfere to help Taurus get the win? Maybe that's what happens. Maybe with a new person, maybe not. I could see that. There's
Oh,
Terrence mentioning WrestleCon, which April 1st. There's no theme to that show yet. They couldn't do Lockdown there because it's in the same. I don't think so, because it's in a venue with a bunch of other shows. Terrence,
it'd
even
probably
though
take
that's
too long to.
closing the show, they could set it up in the time after the last show because they are the final show that night. I guess they could. I'm not going to say that's an impossibility because they could do it because I believe they're the last show that night, and there is like a built-in buffer. It's not like the Collective and stuff where it's like the shows happen like minutes after the other one. There's like a good window of probably at least an hour and a half or 2 hours between shows. So
Yeah.
maybe. I don't think so though. I think they'd all be standard shows for WrestleCon.
Yeah.
Let me just see if there's any other questions in here.
There's a couple.
Let's see, what was his question?
JK Blackstone, if you scroll up a little here.
Okay. Question for Jay and Bill. This is not wrestling news, but in your opinion, do you think music is gone because there's no creative anymore? That Super Bowl performance was epic, but the MJ is iconic, though. So we're going back to the Super Bowl, which is fine.
I just wanted to quick
go ahead.
say to Paul, yes, we both watched the Super Bowl. It was fun. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think music is gone because there's no creative anymore? That Super Bowl. Yeah. The Super Bowl performance tonight was epic. Not everybody, is going to be a fan of hip hop, but I felt like it was surreal to see people from that specific area where the game was. A majority of those people came up from there. So the fact that 30 plus years of being in the game, depending on who was on the stage at the time, like Snoop or Dr. Dre, the others obviously comes in at different times. But as far as old school hip hop,
yeah, the old school, like they definitely had the West Coast represented. But then obviously you got like the big names, but obviously Dr. Dre has a connection to Eminem, so you have his inclusion there. You got Mary J in there. You got then more modern, obviously with Kendrick Lamar in there. So you got a nice mix in there. But
is that
we
who
talked
that
about
was?
that
I didn't know
early.
who that was.
Yeah, you got definitely what we talked about early in the show. Like I said, from MJ, I pointed out earlier, like pretty much growing up, like that was like the GOAT of the halftime shows. There were some good rock ones. I like Paul McCartney did a nice one. I'm a big Tom Petty fan, so I liked when Petty did it. But then they were doing like, I could get if you weren't a classic rock guy for like 5 years, they did classic rock. But then they did some of the more pop ones, depending obviously on what you like. You may have liked Katy Perry, you may have hated it. Bruno Mars, you might have hated it. Lady Gaga, you might have liked it. Who knows? But I think this was obviously different from what they've been doing, and I think that's good to mix in some different one. But honestly, like we saw like the Adam Levine Maroon 5 universally panned as a bad one. I think this was something different. I think there will obviously be people that maybe don't like it, but I think overall it's probably going to be pretty well received. Because you're right, what is the state of music today? If they go too modern, like Bruno Mars, and what was it? Last year was The Weeknd. So they kind of go, it's tough. Like, what is music today, J-Bone?
What's
like
that?
here? Like what is music today? Like are there? The Super Bowl is such a big gig. It's really tough for these acts to really come out and have universal appeal. Those artists don't exist for the most part anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. I've heard for I don't know how many years. Like there's people out there that want Metallica to do a Super Bowl. I think it'd be epic. I love Metallica. Are they my favorite? No, but you give them what is it? 12 minutes is the average stage time for a Super Bowl.
Roughly, yeah.
3.5 setup, 3.5 tear down, just your 20 minutes. 12 minutes of Metallica, man, you could do like an acoustic, or you could do like a jam. You could do an acoustic and then a jam to end it, with some fireworks. It'd be amazing. I would imagine that'd be fairly popular. If you're going to pick a heavy metal band to do something like that, that'd be the one you pick, or a Motley Crue or something with some mainstream appeal. It's tough. The music industry is just different than it was 30 plus years ago. Back then it was about selling records. Now it's about, let's see if we can get this single on the radio. It's not about selling records anymore.
No, there was a time where it was.
And
like, it was like, okay, like if you're going to play parts or whatever of songs, like you were going to do like, okay, 3 or 4 of the hits, maybe mix in that one new song, and then now it's going to hit the store shelf the next day. But now that's not the case anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just different. I mean, there certainly is still good music and stuff coming out today. And I have different tastes than everyone out there. So, yeah, I'm wearing Poison, I'm old school. But I like a lot of modern rock too. It just depends on what you're talking about,
No, I agree. Like it's tough. Like if I had to pick a musical act, it's not easy. Like who has that appeal? Like you'd have to look at like who's the high on the, like honestly, who would probably be, J-Bone? Probably be K-pop.
Oh wow.
They're like the most popular acts in music right now. How crazy would that be?
As far as worldwide record sales right now, it's hard to think of that, but yeah, I guess that'd be a popular one.
Yeah, like, but then like, do you do? And I don't even know. Like if we had Kyle here, he's our informer for what's hip and cool with the kids. And so would it be like Harry Styles? Like, does Harry Styles get the people for a halftime show? Maybe. I don't know. Like who's the hot tickets in the concert industry right now? Like he's one of them. Machine Gun Kelly. I feel like he may have played a part of one of these Super Bowl shows the last couple of years. Like not lead, but maybe he was involved in one of them.
Yeah, like you got to think about something that goes along with sports / entertainment. It's got to be something like you don't want to kill your crowd at halftime. It's you want to keep them. You keep the excitement going. So you got to be careful with that. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not going to, it's, is Tori Amos still popular? Okay, but I'm not going to put her on at halftime.
Yeah, a little cornflake girl.
What?
I think that's the name of one of her albums. I'm trying to use my Tori Amos knowledge here, J-Bone.
Oh,
I don't got much of it.
Paul Nelson asking, Uncle, what kind of music does Papa listen to? He doesn't listen to a lot of music. He doesn't.
Not a big music guy.
No, he's not. But back in the day, like I still have his records.
Okay.
In the house.
What was in the collection of Papa Bone?
Connie Francis.
Connie Francis.
Yeah. You want to talk about like I have my classics? No. No, these are classics.
Classics.
Classics. Yeah.
People would have Veer Mahan at the halftime show. They're still waiting.
the bus of fans is still waiting in the parking lot.
They're hoping to catch a glimpse of Veer Mahan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, it was in sunny Los Angeles. There's your Veer Mahan for the night. Oh no, it's like Janet Jackson Part 2.
Oh, only better. Not really.
Ouch. Ouch, bro.
Mark says no one has ever heard a Machine Gun Kelly song. Well, he's got a sold out tour right now. It might be some smaller venues, but like depending on the city, but his tour is sold out.
Yeah, his tours, and then we know that, and Kyle, the scumbag, was telling us like same thing with Harry. Like he's paying primo dollars for these seats. So no, that usually tells me something because it's tough to tell from like downloads because there's not just like album sales like there was back in the day. It's a lot tougher to tell what popular music is.
I was a rolling bone.
Oh, that's good.
That's a great one.
There you go. Bring them back. Little temps. I like the temps. Give me some temps.
Mark with a question. Is Steve? Go ahead.
Got the win the ROH title on Impact. Well, he had his opportunity, and now we don't know what's going on with Gresham. Although he got taken out, but he's Team Impact through and through. J-Bone. You know my feelings on Steve Macklin. I see him as a world title holder.
I'd say in the next 2 years, absolutely. If he keeps on this slow upward slope, like he won me as a wrestler over the last several shows, especially that Trey X Division show. That was amazing.
Oh,
he
and
lost, but it was good.
Somebody did ask the question somewhere in here about Trey. Who do you see as the next contender for Trey's?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I forget who asked it, but it's in there somewhere. But that was pretty much the question: is who do you see challenging? Any who do you see coming in? Like, could Macklin maybe go from there to there? Do you see? It looked like Laredo Kid was lining up for a chance. Could we see Laredo Kid, or is there somebody else? Mike Bailey, could he go X Division already title?
Well, there's a match this Thursday. I just saw it advertised. I downloaded the card for it because I thought it was pretty cool. If I can get my computer to upload it, apparently I need to drop some stuff out of this folder. Here it is.
Oh, here we go. Danny here mentioning it. Christian Blake versus Ace versus Laredo Kid this Thursday.
Yes.
So I think there's three of the names. Yeah, we're kind of talking about.
I like. You want to see something fresh because we've seen some of the same ones in there. I wouldn't mind seeing Christian Blake, and I'd also like to see Christian Blake stick around.
Or Blake Christian.
Blake. Now, what is it? Is it Blake Christian or is it Christian Blake?
Yeah. Although Christian Blake also sounds like a wrestler, Dave.
It'll read it sideways. It's Blake Christian.
The old Blake Christian.
It's Blake Christian. And that's one guy who is... He seems like he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Definitely.
I mean, that's how he came in for the... what was that? The ballroom show in New York.
Yes. Yeah,
GCW. Yep. He was supposed to face Gresham.
Yes. But sadly, Panini contact tracing, I think, got him removed after the Impact tapings.
So I don't even, I'm trying to remember. Like I watched like the first half of that show. So who did he face? Who did they bring?
They wound up having him face one of those longtime guys in GCW.
Was it Joey Janela or something?
Was it Joey? No, Joey had a match. Oh,
I can't remember.
yeah, it was another guy that came in around the time Blake did. But they had a good match. Was it? No, it wasn't. Was it Tony? Was Tony Deppen? I gotta. You're testing me, Jay.
Buckshot Kid, what is up, man? Good night, Paul. Take care. Oh. Critical Sting says,
Leo Rush.
oh, that's right. Oh, that was before he got re-injured again.
Correct.
Sorry. Poor Leo. It was a little rough of a time there. All right, so Critical Sting says Bay, Ace, Bailey, Laredo Kid, Jake something, Blake, and 2 indie guys would make for a good Super X Cup bracket, in my opinion. Yeah, that'd be hot. But you got to save something like that for like a bigger show, I feel. But yeah, I like that. I mean, the X Division, you got all sorts of guys on the X Division right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love, I mean, I don't think Jonah's sticking around much longer. What, Rebellion-ish?
Yeah, that's what he's confirmed, but it wouldn't shock me if he's around longer than that. We know he's there until at least that.
I'd like to see him like turn into the next like Samoa Joe-esque type person, and maybe.
Now it is interesting, Jay, but we're talking about names and all that, and we don't even talk about Samoa Joe, who's available.
I think he's clear. Don't quote me on that.
I think that's what it is. I think that's one of those things where I think we thought it would have made sense for him to come the last time, and then he re-signed with NXT after being released from the big company. So it's like we just kind of put him out of mind.
It just shows that there is something going on internally against Triple H. And I'm not saying that to start a boo-hoo on Triple H conversation. Don't take it as that. Because I would have loved to seen him get a decent another run out of NXT. Just for, I mean, I don't watch it, but just for the sake of getting used properly. But obviously then Triple H, his health took a turn for the worse, him not being around, and they cleared out. It's like, well, here's your box with the garbage bag in it, Trips, you know. Oh, and by the way, your entire crew is fired too. So
the entire crew.
Yeah, eat it. Oh, except for HBK. So HBK is, you know, poor bald HBK is all by himself with a, you know.
Well, that's the thing is Hall of Fame for Joe in here, or is he going to go Hall of Fame in Ring of Honor? Because I did notice after the Briscoes, Ring of Honor is putting that one Bryan Danielson in, making an appearance at their show during
that first. I think that first Ring of Honor class is going to be big.
So that's what they could have, just a bunch of hand wave, like a bunch of people waving their hands as like a way to sell that show.
No, I mean like the people that they're actually going to induct.
But if they induct, like, shouldn't the idea that these people show up there, or are they going to like tape videos?
Or not no, even there is going to be a ceremony, I think.
Yeah, I would think. But I can't imagine any of them are actually going to perform on the show. But maybe they would. Who knows? That'd be huge if they did.
Well, if they're AEW guys, then they'd have to win.
Well, we know that. Come on, J-Bud.
But if you know, you know.
Now, I see this in the chat, and this is what family dinner is. You can talk about anything, J-Bo. Nothing's off the table. I saw that.
No politics. That's
No,
all we
yeah,
ask.
you're right. But I see Aaron Jack, and I know they're talking about in the chat. They're talking about AEW stuff here with Taz's kid, Hook.
Oh,
and
yeah,
all
I think
I'll say to that is if he learns how to throw a punch like Johnny Knoxville, he might turn into something.
I know some people are completely just oozing out of their orifices over Hook. They're just losing their minds. The kid is fun to watch, and I think a good chunk of it is because you know where he comes from, and so that's a lot of pressure on him. And there's been some build on this. It's like, okay, so he's been a presence out there for a while. And then finally, so it's like it's been the slow, it's like the slowest build ever. But it's been a constant build because they constantly had him out there, you know, running roughshod over this crew, over that crew, over this person, over that person. But they kept him out there so that you kept talking about him. Like, oh yeah, Hobbs had a match and oh, Hook was out there too. So you keep his name in your mouth. And that's smart. That's the smartest thing you can do in professional wrestling. Especially if you're not going to have someone in the ring. It's like what they did with Britt Baker. The entire time that she was injured and she was in that wheelchair, they had her out there every single
you get forgotten. If you're not on TV, that is like the risk, especially when Impact did the longer loops. If someone wasn't there, you're off TV for a month. Now you're only off TV for 2 weeks, probably. But maybe you're up for 4 weeks if it's a double set of tapings. And that hurts. If you're not on TV, you might as well just say, oh, you're gone. Now, I know Mark here asked a question. You guys think it's true that AEW only allows their talents to win on the indies? I would say, for the most part, that is true. I wouldn't say it's 100%. But just look at the Warrior Wrestling show.
Perfect example.
They almost all went over. And you're talking about like if you're talking about the lowest of the low on a card, maybe not. But for the most part, they are. Like it's a crazy winning percentage, I got to imagine. Like I got to imagine it's easy in the 80-something winning percentage. It's nuts. And then here's the example. The Ring of Honor World Champion lost to Dante Martin.
It's ridiculous.
If I'm Ring of Honor, I'm like, what?
But is he really the Ring of Honor World Champion?
He was on their official final last pay-per-view. Well,
was it?
Because he wasn't there. Like he was the one that couldn't do it. But going into it, they're the ones with this storyline at WrestleMania week saying it's going to be Bandito versus Gresham. Why do I care about that match when you're losing to a guy that's pretty much like barely a TV guy?
Yeah,
that's ludicrous.
Well, but it just shows that Bandito has to lose that match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's no way, man. Like that just told me though, the only match advertised, I know the winner, J-Mo. Because after this, Bandito can't win.
No.
But that's the thing. That's the only thing, because obviously we're both independent wrestling fans as well. So when you see this stuff, that indie wrestling built up to a pretty good place these last handful of years. So when you see stuff like that going around, like you get it if it's one or two, but when they're putting their whole roster out on the indies and some people are booking 7-8 members of a roster and they all go over, I guess it's like their little indie show. Now, Critical State, he does point out, like, there are instances. Ruby lost to Josh at AAW. Can't think of many more. But the thing is, she's been losing on TV every week, too. Like, that goes in. Like, that's when they'll probably allow it. if they're not doing anything on TV. Like maybe like she's been on TV, but she's lost like her last 3 or 4 matches, hasn't she, Jay? I can't remember the last time I saw her win a match.
Ruby? It's been back and forth.
Okay. But it seems like she's losing any high-profile match there.
When she lost that big one to Nyla Rose.
There you go. There's he was wiggling briefly, Tret. He wiggled himself out of here from the looks of it.
He did. It was kind of, It's like, ew, just go wiggle that someplace else. Yeah. Terrence Sullivan.
Let's see, what's Terrence say? Oh, okay. Does this one here? Who do you think?
Yes.
Who do y'all think will be the inspiration for Knockouts World Tag Titles, and where? What show?
Well, let's just find some competition for them first.
Well, yeah, I think that's what's going on right now in the knockout. Like, I will say this: the Knockouts Tag Division, once again, don't have the TV time for all these angles. It's pretty much the champs versus one set of challengers. That's the storyline in the tag division for the Knockouts. No more time for anything else.
Yeah, like they just got back and they got the stuff with
the influence. And the stuff with Caleb's been great. But
that has been fun.
It has to pay off though this weekend. Because we can't have like this has gone on, honestly, it's getting close to too long because of Tenille not being able to make it. If she's not at these tapings, they pretty much have to end that storyline. It's too long.
Yeah.
Like people are going to lose interest because that payoff match is months in the making now. Like you can like Gorillas of Destiny versus the Good Brothers. That's a couple years in the making, and then obviously the last like year heavy. You can do it for that. The inspiration versus the influence, not really.
Yeah, and it just sucks that as soon as the inspiration won, they had to take time off of TV. That didn't help them any.
Oh, no, it did not. So there's been issues why this has happened, but at some point you just got to, if you can't do it, you got to cut bait, J-Bone.
Well, yeah, just throw whoever you throw at inspiration. I have the confidence enough in that team. It's going to be fun. So sometimes you just got to just make a match. Yeah. Like you said, if you can't do, like if Tenille's not around and it's Madison Rain and question mark, then just make a match.
Yeah.
Surprise us and just do the match. Doesn't matter. Trent.
Match.
Trentski.
Another one from the road, boys.
What is up?
It's a little dark. I'm driving. I got the phone mounted, so I'm going to be looking at the road because I'm a safe driver still podcasting, though. What's up, guys?
How much? How you doing?
He's a professional vlogger.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the professional vlogger?
What happened with Norman Smiley today?
Oh, he got a very unpopular vote. He didn't make it past the big dog, or Paula. He didn't make it past Paula or the big dog. Yeah.
We have our Pinoy boy watching the chat there. I figured he's like our Rottweiler, man, getting people out of the chat, and then you're in there too, J-Bone, clearing these trolls out of here. But all right, so what's going on? What are we arguing about today? What's everybody pissed off about?
Oh, not pissed off. We're having some great discussions. It started out with Super Bowl. That was the hot topic. It was just how did we watch the game? Did we enjoy the halftime? And then it went there to talking about The Rock, who was kind of the MC for the whole thing, and then it kind of swerved into wrestling talk.
Yeah, I saw Dwayne was doing something. I call him Dwayne. You know, we're cool. Call him Dwayne and all.
You're close.
We're on first name basis. It's me and Dwayne. I saw Dwayne was doing something with that, but yeah, those Bengals blew it, huh? How about that? Shit. Right at the end.
You realized they were the Bengals in the end.
Yeah.
Sammy probably put a. Sammy
the
probably
days of
put.
Boomer Esiason are over, man.
Oh my God. Sammy
Sammy
put
looked like his butt.
and Callahan probably put a brick through his television.
Yeah, he was definitely hyped up. They're in Dayton, but it's all Ohio, I guess.
Yeah, because on that side you got the Cincinnati side, and obviously you got the Cleveland side. But I know, a lot of, since there's a big contingent of the Ohio guys in Impact that I think they were all Bengals fans for the most part. So they're having a tough night, but it was still a pretty good overall. They got to take solace in a good season.
I don't know if you could read that. During the halftime show, I was chatting with my buddy Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah? You and Cody Rhodes were chatting?
We're tight. Didn't you know that?
No, what happened? Tell me. Is this for real?
I'm all elite. I'm all elite, bitches. No, I'm kidding. No, this goes way back to the start of AEW. Cody Rhodes did a thing, and the Young Bucks did a thing where they shared a number, and you could sign up for exclusive, text messages from them. So it's like
really?
they send out a text message, and it goes to all their contacts. So I'm a contact of Cody Rhodes. Perfect example is last April 25th on my birthday, Cody Rhodes sent me a personal happy birthday.
Now, I'm gonna say this. That is some great fucking PR, by the way. You know what I mean? That is amazing PR. If I'm a fan of a company, we know it's automated or whatever the hell it is, right? Either way, that's enough to really hook a guy, though, man. If I'm if I'm a mark, I'm like, holy shit, comes from Cody Rhodes. That's pretty cool. It's a cool little thing to do, man. It's those little extras. Those things help.
Yeah. So yeah, I joke about that. But I was just talking to Cody Rhodes tonight.
Your guy.
Well, speaking of pro wrestling tees, there was a sale. There was a 20% off Super Bowl sale. So hoping somebody picked up a T-shirt. One of the TNI fam got a T-shirt at 20% off. It was just for the night, though. It was really weird.
Once the game was over, it was over.
Oh, that went to the end of the Super Bowl. But if you missed that one,
what are you saying?
The Spread Shop link is also in the description. And tomorrow, all day, Valentine's Day, 20% off everything in the TNI merch. And, cheap plug, there's also one for STP too, but just saying.
Well, we'll do. I think we got to get a TNImerch.com domain, just register a cheap domain and put both links in there, just set that up. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to set up a little merch just because Spreadshirt doesn't have an easy link because, ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. That's easy. Spreadshirt's Spreadshirt.com/Total-Nonstop-Mark's Hot Wife-com T-shirts J-Bo Lollipops, shit like that.
So long.
Yeah. So, what else, man? I think I watched this week's Impact. I think I did on Friday. Yeah, I did. I caught up on it. I caught up on it because Mark and I were gonna do a hit and run Friday. We couldn't. We're gonna do it tomorrow though. So we're gonna do it tomorrow. So I'm all caught up. I am. It's weird, man. Impact's it's strange because it's those old school mid.
Oh,
he froze. He froze.
He must have went under a bridge.
He's back. He's back.
There he is.
I miss Fallah Bahh, man. I really miss Fallah Bahh a lot. I miss Larry D. These guys are great. Larry D, I think, I was talking about coming on the show, and I think he's charging to come on to a podcast. And I'm like, I don't know about that, man. So I was like, so Fallah I'll try to get for us. So he's a good guy, man. But, the Rohits and all those guys, and we met those guys.
It's interesting. Rohit was in the news in the last couple of days.
I saw that. It wasn't good.
He was too honest.
Yeah. It wasn't good news though, man. It was real kind of depressing.
Yeah, it's like nobody's returning his calls news.
And that's really shitty because you got one of the most talented guys on the mic and the ring, looks like $1 million. I don't know, like I he's small, I guess, but there's a ton of small guys. Yeah, and if anybody's smart right now, if you look at all demos, I mean, I talked to Bravo. He was saying that the number one demo for Impact YouTube is India. You know, right? The number one demo for AAW this last month was India. You know what I mean? Like, India is clearly watching wrestling on YouTube. I mean, WWE is huge at this, right? They're the ones who are phenomenal at keeping an Indian contingent around for content. They caught on. I mean, when they made, people question why was it Jinder Mahal was champion? Dude, look at the numbers on his videos. And I'm thinking, if you're, and I get Impact's got Bhupinder Singh and they got Raj, but man, like, you got the guy who can talk. You know what I mean? Like, you need a guy like Rohit. Hey, it blows my mind that AEW doesn't pick him up, like, immediately. Like, hey, we need a guy for India. They don't have any Indian guys,
well, it's
right?
crazy. He worked 2 AEW Dark tapings, and neither match has seen the light of day.
I talked to Karam, because one of them was a 4-on-4 they did. When they went down for Dark, because they had to skip AAW to go make Dark last week. So I talked to Karam, who's the muscle of the Hustle and the Muscle team. And he said we did a 4-on-4. And that just taped, so I can see that one coming up because that's got a bunch of guys in it. Yeah. His first Dark, I don't know why it hasn't aired. But they kind of air them like here and there, right? They kind of just patch them together and just put them together and stuff. Like they're not in any kind of like order, are they?
They usually splice them together. You know, they cut out entrances and they just throw the match in there depending on what's going on. Now, the ones that happen at the tapings in Florida, I couldn't tell you. But look, I want to play this because I think it's funny as hell. We were just talking about Falaba, and I found this morning. Check this out. This is on the old Instaneck.
Okay.
Morning. Weed don't bother me.
Did you smoke this morning?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah.
No? Because Gary, Baba Booey, you know, he thought you smoked weed. He thought you smelled like weed.
Me? Nah, I don't smoke weed.
Yeah, I mean, you know weed.
I hate weed.
Did you smoke this morning?
Weed don't bother me.
Did
you smoke this morning?
Nah.
No? Because Gary, Baba Booey, you know, he thought you smoked weed. He thought you smelled like weed.
Me? Nah, I don't smoke weed.
Yeah, I mean, you know weed.
I hate weed.
Did you?
That's some good stuff for Falaba.
We don't bother me. Yeah, but did you smoke?
The thing is, these guys who are great, who have fan bases, like, you know, you can't tell me that Rohit doesn't have a cult following online. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not just online. Rohit, Hakeem Zayn has a fucking cult following. I don't care who you are. You can't tell me he doesn't. Falaba has a cult following. Like, there are people who love these guys for this TV run. And I'll give you guys a great example. Here's a perfect example of the power of TV. AAW Brass was very hesitant to bring in Mike Bennett to face.
Another bridge.
Uh-oh.
He's under the elevated
I
trade.
see you guys.
There you go.
There he is.
Okay. AAW Brass was very hesitant to bring in Mike Bennett last week, right? And I was like, why? Well, what's special about Mike Bennett? I go, everything aside, he's been on TV for years. He's been on TV for years. It's every promotion. That's the key. It's TV. I don't care what we fucking have to say outside of it. The power of, there's always a group of fans who just want to meet a guy or see a guy that they saw on TV. You know, bottom line. If it's
Nothing wrong with TV. Like, that's the only thing. I know when it all happened. That was my only thing. Like, Rohit, maybe don't get out of being on TV because that is such a big avenue. And without knowing you have something you can definitely jump onto. Because that's the thing, because so many people go to AEW Dark. It's like you really have to make an impression when you go there. because they've only signed, I think, a handful of people that have done dark.
Personally, I think just the fact that you can flex the hair. No, he's Indian and African American. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a guy who can hit 2 demos, but the Indian demo is a big one, man. And all these companies need to tap into it. AEW doesn't have one. And I'm like, you guys need to jump in on this guy, man, because he's your bridge. But I'm just saying, like, you've got guys who are on TV who people want to see. And that's why I'm saying, like, you got to pick up. Like, indies need to start, like, they got to put themselves out there. I mean, he makes his rounds for sure, but they got to start going out, man. Like, get out there, and you got to build it right back up on the indies and get that interest back. Fala is a great example of that. Called following, you know. I mean, Bill, how many years did you see him in New Jersey for? I mean, he was out in New Jersey forever.
That's the thing. Like, and J-Bo, you might know this better than me. I don't think they've actually made an announcement about Bod at any point in back. They just took him off the roster page because he's not being used. And I see them bringing him, like, they're going to be in Philly. Could they bring him back for an per appearance deal again? I think yes.
Yeah, they could.
That's the thing. The only thing, and I got to say this with Impact, we like, Jay, we've talked about it here and on the reviews. They have like 3 big storylines right now. And if you're not part of them, you're not on TV. So it's like, Larry D asked out of his deal. Ace Romero asked out of his deal instead of just sitting around. Rohit didn't resign. Like, this is an Impact getting rid of these guys. I think they'd be fine with them, but on their terms. That's the issue. And they're not using them right now. Like, they don't have a space. Now, might they have a space? It's a 2-hour show. There's only so much space for guys, which it'd be great if Impact had another show, but right now, there's just not a lot. Well, once the Ring of Honor, I don't know, more storyline goes down and the Bullet Club goes down, then there's more time again. But right now, it's going to be tight until probably Rebellion.
Yeah. Unfortunately, at that point, there's not much separating you from being an indie then. The TV and a handful of contracts. Otherwise, you're booking like indies per appearance. Now, what's the difference? You know, that's the problem. You got 5 to 10 people under a contract, under a guaranteed deal, and the rest are just getting paid by appearance. I mean, that's the difference. Then the only difference they have is television.
Well, yeah, that's a Ring of Honor right now. There's only WWE and AEW giving out contracts like candy, but nobody else. So that's a lot of free agents out there.
And you know what? I'm really curious. This AEW expiration month that's about to take place in a couple weeks, with all these guys apparently coming up at the end of the month. I mean, what's the free agent market going to look like? I mean, indies are going to be flooded with guys who are just on TV, and I'm just curious what it turns into.
I don't know exactly how many are going to be on the free agency. Like, we know a few of them already. Like, I'm sure Janela, Marco Stunt, Jack Evans, and Helico as a tag team or singles, depending on how you want to book them.
Jack Evans of Team Canada?
Yeah, right.
From the heavens.
Coach better call him up. I'd have to actually look at the roster page. So I'm sure Brian Cage is gone at some point. I don't know if anybody ordered or saw Warrior Wrestling. Was it last night?
Yeah, Saturday, yeah.
So the Acclaimed had a match against Casey Navarro and Brian Cage. Well, Max Caster, who's the rapper of the two, came out.
Yeah, he roasted Cage.
Oh my God. He said we get more. How did he say? He said something to the effect of getting more TV time than Brian Cage, or said someone gets more TV time than Brian Cage or something.
He roasted Cage about basically his contract coming up, him not being on TV. And Case, and of all things, Casey Navarro signs with Court Bauer. Like, who signs with Court Bauer? You know, things like that.
Yeah. I thought that was.
Who the hell actually signs with Court Bauer? You know, shit like that. I never gave those guys a second thought, but I did see the clip of that roast and that was pretty funny actually. Just because I think Brian Cage, nothing. Brian Cage sucks.
I still like him. He's not one of my favorites. I know I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I can't wait till he returns to Impact Wrestling." Look, I just have very fond days of him when he was in Lucha Underground, but that was a completely different product, and you could film stuff and make people seem much larger than life. It's.
Well, let me ask this. Let me put it to the chat. Does anybody actually want Brian Cage back in Impact? And if you do, you have Morrissey, you got Fulton, you got Moose, you got the Giants. I mean, we're good in the Giants, man. Where does Brian Cage fit if you brought him back today? And what is he going to do?
Honestly,
the roster's stacked.
Yeah, as far as see, and when he was around, hey, hi Joe, how you doing? When Brian Cage,
we got Joe, yeah, we got Joe.
Joe too.
Still
one of the biggest guys there is. When Cage first came over from Lucha Underground, I don't think Impact had a lot of really big guys. And that was one thing they really needed. So when he came in, it was refreshing. And honestly, with what WWE is looking for right now, Cage would be perfect. Honestly.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with him, though. He looks like it. WWE doesn't want him, apparently, because they would have gotten him by now. But he can't talk. He slurs like he's too like he's like he can't talk. And then I don't want to see a fucking guy. I don't want to see a guy like Brian Cage doing hurricanranas. That's not what I pay to see a Brian Cage do.
Right.
I don't want to see Joe Doring do fucking high flying shit. That's not what I'm signing up for. If I see a guy like Brian Cage who looks like a goddamn monster, but he's sitting there doing fucking high flying shit, I'm like, well, I have Ace Austin. I got Chris Bay. I don't need you to do a hurricanrana. I need you to plow people over like a Mack truck.
We got Christian
you're
Blood.
not. Yeah. I just don't need. Yeah, I don't need you to do that high flying shit. You're Brian Cage. But no, He can't get it through his head that I want to do this and I want to do this also. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? That's not what you're here for. And that's why, to me, he's confused. He doesn't know. He never knew what he wanted to be, and this is why the AEW run has failed. The guy never knew what he wanted to do. He's too all over the place. And then, I'm sorry, man. You got a guy who looks like a fucking beast. You got a beast like that. You got a wife who's always sitting there talking about you're banging this, you're banging that all day long. And then you're sitting there talking about comic books on your Twitter for half the time. Like, what the fuck? Like you lose. I don't want to see a guy like him talking about what a nerd he is. You know what I mean? Like, fucking A, man. Make a personal Twitter and do that shit. But if you're selling me an image of this giant monster, you're totally not. You're not selling it. You're failing at selling it to me. I don't know, man.
Yeah, really,
a guy like him
can tell us about comic books.
Yeah. I mean, Omega is open that I'm a dork. It's kind of almost part of his character that he's a dork, you know? But, like, Brian Cage is selling himself to be, like, a superhero. When I think of Wolverine or a fucking Juggernaut or a whatever, I'm not thinking about them going home and I got to get that new edition of Spider-Man 3. It's like, that's all I'm thinking about with those guys. They're fucking supposed to be monsters. He keeps saying, I'm a machine. Well, you motherfucker, you're too busy worrying about comic books all day long. Be a machine. Don't high fly. Just fucking kill people. That's your job. Just to plow people over. Be a monster.
Go ahead. This Jeff Samuel guy's just asking for trouble now. He wants me to bring back a gimmick.
Oh, now you got the cowboy hat gimmick. Oh, you got the big dum-dum. Oh, look at that.
Holy shit, look at that. Where'd you get that? You big dummy.
I had this like a year ago. I never opened it. It's got the lollipops. This is the only lollipops I got. I never opened it. Should I open it live now?
Oh, a live unwrapping?
No way. No. You saved that for like Thursday, man. You don't open that shit now. You kidding me? No way.
Super Bowl freebies.
Well, this is
No.
This is a freebie, Trent. We're not doing this. Isn't Patreon content.
I know. You're gonna open that on a freebie? Fuck that. No. You want to? Okay. How about you open it tomorrow on Throwback, and we're doing it tomorrow, and Dave's joining us. How about you open it tomorrow?
Okay. All
You
right.
already gave him the show for free. Don't give him the gimmick.
I see what you're saying.
You're saying you're going to give it away for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
J-Bone, giving it away on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
8.
Yeah, J-Bone. Valentine's Day we'll do it, and you could play with it. You can play with your lollipop on Valentine's Day.
Dear God.
On the YouTube and the Twitch.
Yeah, live. But look, Dave is joining us tomorrow. The Dave of the couch is going to join us tomorrow. We should go a little earlier. I want to go. Maybe we could go at like 9 Central tomorrow if that works for everybody. Not too late. I'll be around. So let's get Dave on there, and then we'll do number 100 NWA TNA.
Just make sure we're doing that time, Trent.
No, I'm home. I'm home tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm fully in.
I'm just saying.
Oh, maybe it could be. If not, it could be the opening of After Dark. An AD, maybe.
Oh.
But
put it.
All right, cool.
Put the big liquor behind a paywall.
How long have you guys been on today?
2.5 hours.
All right, that's enough. This is come on. You're giving away too much here. All right, guys, let's get the hell out of here. That's it. We're out of here. Close this down. Close it down. What are we saying? What are people asking? I can't see the chat. I'm in my fucking car. I just parked. I can't see a chat. What are they asking me here?
They're not asking you anything.
All right, good.
They're like,
get the hell out of here.
They're like, who's this guy driving around in the dark?
Who's this guy dogging Brian Cage while driving around?
But it seems like most people they're not keen on bringing Brian Cage back.
I mean, what do you gain? Honestly, what do you gain with Brian Cage? You've been there, done that. I don't think he delivered like we wanted him to. I don't think we really got what we wanted. So,
always fought for his better half.
Yeah. What about Melissa Santos on that Twitch? Hey, Trent.
Yeah, right.
Twitch.
That's one of the. She was what a disaster that was, man. Just nothing. I know there's guys that like looking at her, like they like tuning in just to look at her. But
you got the baby crying in the background, and then the phone falls, and then goes the phone. Yeah, it's
every 3 minutes is like, hey, can you just put your shit on Do Not Disturb just for an hour, 2 hours? Is it gonna kill you? So ridiculous, man. But yeah, listen, I don't know what else we got. I'm excited for Throwback tomorrow. We got episode 100 tomorrow. That's a big one.
Can't wait to see Dave.
Yeah. What? Do you remember what episode we did with Dave? We did one with him before,
episode, wasn't it?
Oh, it was.
Was it the Raven?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the Raven one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because that was and for anyone who doesn't know, a Raven one was at number 43, I want to say. And it was the big Raven Jarrett match in year one. The one, I think it was it was April of 2003. And it was the 1 year, or not one, it was year one, and it was the big showdown, Raven Jarrett, where everybody thought Raven was getting it. That was like, it was like the greatest, one of the greatest top. It's one of the top, for people who are newer Impact fans, Raven Jarrett is probably one of the top 10, top 5 to me, feuds of Impact history, one of the top matches like ever in the company. They've definitely disappointed a lot of people. The result wasn't what we thought it'd be at the time. But hey, wait, real quick I gotta address one thing before I go.
Okay.
So Truckee hit me up about this. Matt Cardona is the new NWA heavyweight champion.
That was one of the hot topics to start the show.
That's one thing we did talk about tonight. Yes.
I gotta address one thing about it.
Okay.
It was a taped show. It wasn't even live.
Right.
Wasn't even live. It's a tape show that's been spoiled out, and that's it. Like, it's not a live show. Like, everybody got the result through like little clips and photos here and there. How do you not capitalize on a live event of that happening, and you did it on a taped house show? What?
Yeah.
What?
That was one opinion we did not throw out there, but we did talk about that plenty in the Discord and in our own private Facebook chat. But yeah, I think we all share the same sentiment on that one, that they completely lost a ton of money.
Yeah, unless the YouTube views are through the roof, but still, nobody even knows if it's on Fight or YouTube or where it's even being shown.
It will be. It will be.
If it does great YouTube numbers because of Cardona, then maybe it pays for itself. Maybe that is the right way. But we'll see. It doesn't seem like that'd be the way, but maybe for them it is. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. Is the NWA title going to be touring with Matt Cardona, or is it just going to sit on Billy Corgan's shelf?
He should tour it. I mean, honestly, the guy's everywhere, right?
But
he
just
should
like
fucking tour
AEW, if he's touring it, he can't lose. Your world champion can't lose. The NWA world champion can't lose on some indie show.
No, that's the problem.
Yeah,
and I just can't get over how you don't air it yesterday. The Super Bowl was today. Why didn't you air yesterday?
You got to be a little careful on where you shop it out to. You can't, because you don't want to get hurt on a shindy.
Well, go to reputable ones, like come to a PWG, AAW, come to one of ours, like Big Time Wrestling. Like, go to like the reputable indies.
Right.
One in Poughkeepsie or something, but like there's good ones. There's strong indies that you can trust, that you can get a feature match at. But like, I don't know, man. I just feel like you wasted money, wasted opportunity to not air that though. Like, not put that on a pay-per-view. Even a $10 pay-per-view would have been great if you hyped it up enough. But that's a waste. That's definitely a waste. Where they're going with it, I definitely see it showing up on Impact. Guarantee it's going to show up on Impact.
You think so? Yeah, because there's different opinions on that one. But so you think it is? All right.
New Orleans. It should be showing up in a week.
I think it's going to be there because they've repaired the relationship with the during the Tim Storm and what was that guy's name, Bill? He was Josephus before he passed. The Tim Storm and Josephus did an empty arena NWA title match in the Impact Zone. So
right.
So they've repaired the relationship. Obviously, they've traded some folks here and there. So like, shit's good. I definitely see the NWA title making its first appearance on Impact TV in the 20th year, guys. I mean, I think this is calculated. It's the 20th year. The NWA title was the foundation of TNA. You know, I mean, it's fitting. This has to show up on Impact TV this year. That's just a fact. And I personally think it's a calculated. What's that?
Who would have thought Cardona is the one that's going to bring it all together?
I think that Cardona, because he's the guy who has shown the wrestling world that, hey, I can handle traveling. I can handle doing this everywhere. I'm the guy. I'm your guy. So let me be the guy to do it.
So I think that's why they're like, you know what? If you can handle it, then by all means, you do it. No.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know what you did, but your audio just got a lot better.
Yeah, now it's like good stuff.
Yeah, you don't sound
you
like
go
you're on a
from
phone
Bluetooth
call.
to the phone speaker.
Bluetooth.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was the Bluetooth.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back on the regular. Yeah. So, but Cardona's got to be the one to do it, man. I think if it's very convenient that in the 20th year, the guy making the rounds, who's also holding an Impact belt, wins the NWA title out of nowhere. I think it's too fitting. It's not going to hurt the NWA to have him come on TV.
No,
why not?
it's certainly. I mean, if you want to use it as a promotional tool and be like, oh, shit, Cardona is what? He's NWA champ? What? And they're just promoted the whole Nick Aldis versus Matt Cardona thing. If you want to make it legit, then yeah, have Matt Cardona beat Nick Aldis because he was a 3-year reigning NWA champion. That's how you solidify it and know it's not just a flash in the pan.
How about this? Is anybody opposed to seeing Nick, husband of Mickey James, Aldis, back on Impact TV in an NWA storyline against maybe Cardona?
You almost made
their Trent.
You almost made Bill puke on that one.
Yeah, well, I think the fans are very divisive. He was not kind on the way out to Impact Wrestling.
No, he was not. He was not kind, nor was he kind until Mickey came back and she started making the rounds. So he's been very negatively vocal.
He's been very vocal about kind of burying Impact ever since he left.
Question is now, on Money Talks, you could sit there and that a guy, if he backtracks, it's all going to be like, whoa, it's new management, Dixie's not there, blah, blah, blah. I talked to Scott DeVore, it's always going to be something. But the thing I wonder, it's like, at this stage, are people opposed to him? Or would people want? I want to put this in the chat. If you guys, are you opposed to all this making an appearance? So no, huh? There's limits. Yeah, I'm curious, man. I am curious, man. No, all this, huh? No shit. Look at this. Wow. So this is that. I wouldn't say it's divisive at all.
If you want Cardona to be a heel, it won't happen with Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis would get booed out of the building ahead of Cardona flipping off fans.
I'll tell you who I'd love to see Cardona feud with, just because I feel like they're very similar to me in their style and their intensity and their energy and their diversity of how they can do stuff. Eric Young and Cardona, to me, would be a very interesting. Let that sink in. Everybody listening, I know it sounds very random. You got two guys who are extremely versatile in playing styles and characters. And imagine just the microphone battle. Eric Young at peak heel, I'm talking, Cardona's a heel, though. That's right. I forgot.
That's the thing you got to remember.
But Eric Young,
heel Cardona now.
Yeah. But Eric Young and Cardona, I still say would be a great matchup, though, if you're talking Impact guys.
Yeah.
Face-wise, though, I don't know, man. I wonder who he'd put up against Cardona.
Bring Cardona with the title, and then it's a 20-year anniversary. Have Jeff Jarrett be the one to go after Cardona to get that NWA title back.
You want buzz? That's going to get you buzz. No question about it. Jarrett has
interesting.
likened himself to the indie audience with this GCW stuff recently, which that's the crowd that used to dog him left and right. Fuck Jeff Jarrett. Fuck Jeff Jarrett. That was the crowd that fucking hated him. And now they're kissing his ass all left and right. So,
well, the thing is,
Cardona in a TNA ring, like, holy shit, dude. That would be interesting.
It's all presentation, though. It's all presentation. You look at how Jeff Jarrett is presenting himself. He's not corny. He's not coming out with his flashy double J cowboy hat like he did 20 some years ago or whenever that was in the 90s. And Bill and I talked a little bit about this earlier. He's selling himself as like one of the last outlaws in wrestling. And when you look at the touring outlaw types, the bigger names out there, there's not many left. And he's a different Jeff Jarrett now. He's not the Jeff Jarrett from 5 years ago that went into rehab and the day before was throwing tortillas and he was high as shit in AAA and embarrassing the hell out of our company, you know? Our company, like we own it. No, but you know what I mean. Impact Wrestling. This is a sober Jeff Jarrett for what we're telling about, and he's been trying to redeem himself. He's putting himself out there with the fans, talking about the past and his past with wrestling, and you know he's not. I look at it as I'm not calling him like a saint or nothing. You know, but he is a different guy now. So
JFJRET this year. He's got to show up. Maybe not this angle, but Jeff Jarrett has to be part of the 20-year anniversary.
You got it. I think you got to get Shamrock on there. You got to get Jeff on there. If you're being unpetty, you got to have Dixie on there. Like this, like this is the kind of shit you got to do. You got, even if he doesn't show, you should offer it to Vince Russo. You know, these are people who are fucking vital to that 20-year foundation, man. Millard Harris is in the chat after a very long time, by the way. So shout out to Millard, man. That's awesome. Hey, good to see you after a very long time,
Mr. Harris.
But like there's a core. I mean, you should offer it to Jerry Jarrett. You know what I mean? Like Jerry, Jeff, Dixie, Russo, Borash.
Cornette.
Borash is
no
Cornette too. I mean, I'm serious. You got people who were there from early. I mean, these were foundational people, man. You know, you got to put that out there. Some of these people. I know Bill's like Scott Hudson, but Scott Hudson, Goldilocks, Trinity. I mean, even if it's something as simple, something as simple as a video message, like they did for some of the Hall of Fames.
Right.
Remember Bill like did for Abyss's Hall of Fame thing? Yep. If it's something as simple as that, just talking about happy 20 years, guys. Like that is fucking money.
That'd be a good one. Like, because you could do 20 of those and it wouldn't take up a ton of time.
Yeah.
No. And it doesn't hurt the folks doing it in any way. It's doing your phone.
And this could be part of it. Now that they're working with WWE, I know Nikki says she thinks it's going to happen. She don't know when, but it's going to happen. But a message from AJ Styles to the crowd at Slammiversary.
I mean, honestly,
I built this house.
Who better? Honestly, can you imagine? I mean, you know, I can picture now that if you get a video message from an AJ Styles, happy 20th birthday to the house that AJ Styles built. You know what I mean?
And forget Ron.
Truth. Big time. You know, but guys like Conan also. Conan, Disco. Glenn was a huge part of the company, you know, creatively for a long time. You know, get these guys. I mean, you got to honor that because this is a company that people said wouldn't last past year one. If you're coming up on 20, then you get the celebration from the people who made it to 20. You know, that's those first. A lot of people who aren't watching Throwback with us, who don't really get it, you guys understand. The first 5 years of the company are some of the most important and big fucking years of that company.
Yeah.
I mean, the 3 in the asylum, I can't even describe how much fun they are for one, but how interesting that who came through the doors in those 3 years. And then when they went to Orlando for Fox Sports, and then the deal with Spike, those first 5 years, I'm telling you, TNA 02 to 07 are like so critical years. Those years are super critical. And then 08 and 09 are amazing years of the company. Creatively, that was like, we're hitting it. I mean, the hype that like AEW gets, that was TNA in 08, 09. Action figures, board games, fucking posters, and the little poster flippy thing at the record store, you know, cups and this and socks and sticker books and trading cards. TNA 08, 09, they had hit the peak. And it was all because of the people who built it in that first 5 years. I'm telling you guys, like, you should be watching Throwbacks to see it, but this is such an important year for them to honor all that. If you can do that, it'd be a great thing. You really solidify yourself as for what the company is. Because for all the faults the company has, it has history. But if it can honor the history, then shit, man, then start working on that. You know,
They could.
Merchandising.
Kurt Angle.
Merchandising.
Sting and Kurt can do videos. You know, Kurt's free. Sting's with AEW. You know,
Hey, just get
stuff in.
$2,000 budget with Cameo, and you're good.
Just crop the Cameo logo out. Like you see like fucking Sting going, I want to wish a birthday wish to Impact Wrestling on their 20th year. Congratulations from your buddies Scott and okay, great. Scott and Ed. Okay. Impact. Hey, wait, didn't I work there? By the way, what I bought the other day in my car, look at this, the Karate Kid soundtrack. Look at that, huh? Because I live in the past, man.
On CD.
If I had to go Karate Kid soundtrack, I would have went Karate Kid 2.
2?
Oh, you gotta go 2.
What's 2 got? I don't think I ever listened to 2s.
What?
Peter Cetera.
I don't remember.
Peter Cetera.
Oh. Oh yeah. Guys, you're the best. You got Joe Esposito on here. You got great stuff on here, man.
Come on, man.
Young Hearts. Karate Kid 1's great. By the way, I told Mark I was watching the remake Karate Kid, the new Karate Kid, the fuck that was.
Cobra
Will
Kai.
Smith's kid. No. The movie.
Oh, the one that came out about 10 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah. What a hunk of shit. What a hunk of utter shit that movie is.
What do you expect?
Dude, I got it on. I got the iPad. I watched Impact, and I was like, "Oh, I'll put something else on." Open up the Netflix, and I'm like, "Oh yeah," it's like recommended to me because I watched Cobra Kai. I'm like, "Oh, let me throw it on." What an utter hunk of uncreative bullshit that movie is.
That good,
and it's like 2.5 hours long. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
You go to next Karate Kid before you go that one.
God, that was terrible, man.
Karate Kid before you go that. Come on.
Yeah, you go Hillary Swank before you go. What's it, Jaden Smith?
Jaden Smith.
Fuck Jaden Smith. Man.
I've heard nothing but positive about Cobra Kai, but
Cobra Kai's great. All right, but boys, I'm gonna sign off. I'm sitting in the car. I'm gonna get upstairs. So I'm gonna
you should go listen to Gloria Love. Everyone loves the Gloria Love in the chat here.
I remember it.
Sequel. Now I need to get the sequel.
But to me, it's you're the best. You're the best around.
Best around is very good. That's definitely the lead on that album.
Also, Young Hearts by Commuter is a phenomenal monster ballad. That's the one he's playing when they're in the arcade and shit.
Yeah,
that's what they're playing there. That's great song. I found Glory Love when I get upstairs.
Cruel Summer's on there, isn't it?
No, Cruel. Well, it's not on the soundtrack. It didn't make it on the soundtrack. It's in the movie though.
You gotta be kidding! There's gotta be some like a bonus edition somewhere with it on there.
There's a lot of shit on this soundtrack that I don't really distinctly remember hearing in the movie that I think was so hidden in the background. Like, the song that's playing when he's the shower at the Halloween party. I'm like, I don't fucking know what that song is, but it's on here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh, it's a song in the shower. I don't thoughts of that fucking song, But that's on here. That's the kind of shit they're putting on here. So, like, yeah.
Well, just for that Millard is fully back, Trent. He says Trent's been in his car longer than he was married.
Look at Millard. I haven't heard a good marriage joke in a while. Welcome back, Millard. Like you never left.
Right?
All right. You guys wrap it up. I'm gonna get out of here.
All right, sounds good, Trent. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, guys, throwback. It's NWA TNA 100. Seriously, for those who aren't watching the throwback on Plus, can you at least watch episode 100? Like, Dave's joining us. The couch, Dave. He's joining us for the show. He posted on his Instagram that he's studying tape. He was watching tape. Join us. You got to join us for 100. Come on. It's a great one. It's number 100. There's only 12 left. That's it. That's it. The asylum's done. So jump in,
Oof.
please. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central. We'll go for 9 o'clock.
All right.
All right. Cool. All right, everybody.
I'll be there.
I'm out of here. You guys sign it off.
All right.
I'll talk to y'all later.
Later, Trent. We'll see you.
See you guys.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for popping in, Trent. So, well, shall we wrap her up? We're going almost 3 hours here.
I think we gave the people what they wanted. Once again, family dinner, Patreon usually only. Tonight, Super Bowl Sunday, free for all.
Yes.
Hopefully you liked it. You want more of it? Join the Patreon. It's as easy as that, Jabo.
That link is in the description of the video. Along with the merch. The merch links, like the spread shop. So if you want to get some TNI merch, like the sale for Pro Wrestling Tees, that was till the end of the Super Bowl. That was at 20% off. But spread shop all day tomorrow, 20% off. All the TNI UK stuff on the link in the description, 20% off. Great deal. So, but if you don't want to do that, you want to support something bigger and better than that, then head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees. Tomorrow's the last day. Ends at 1 a.m.
Now, let me see if it's still up, Jabo. And that may have already passed. It's after 1 a.m. my time. That's Eastern.
Oh, they usually do it at like noon.
Yeah, that's weird that they dropped it at that time. Unless that was an error on that, which it could be.
Yeah, it could be.
Let's make sure it's still up.
I ordered mine yesterday.
And I ordered mine as well. I'm going in there now. Just seeing.
Hopefully some people from our audience did too. I mean, not that you all have to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I'll let you know if it's available right now. Hopefully, if you're still with us, if you're watching this, check it out. It is still available. It looks like I'm clicking on it now. Yes, still available to order. So definitely hop on there. Maybe that's incorrect. And hopefully they'll let it go for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So all proceeds go straight to Don. Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Blue on blue.
Blue on blue. Sexy. I always call him sexy in that one. So, but yeah. I'm glad we got this out to like everyone. We even had some interesting people in there, some people we never seen before, and some old people come back. So I'm glad we had a couple moderators in there. Glad good old Uncle Mark's in the chat. Trent stopped in from his, he took some time from living in his car. And no, I'm kidding. You want more Trent? I know a lot of people want to see more Trent on the regular show, but he's doing the throwbacks. So get him on the throwbacks. And he does some Patreon content, just not much lately. The new year, we've been a little lacking in the Patreon content. So we still appreciate everyone's commitments. Whatever you do, we appreciate it. Whether you're buying merch, you tip in, while we're live, or if you're on the Patreon. Honestly, the Patreon's the best deal to go. If you are, pinching pennies and you can only afford a couple bucks a month or whatever, there's $3, $5, $10, and I know some people tip almost every time we're live. So there's those people too, but whatever it is, we appreciate it all. Okay. We love you guys. So, but yeah, so if you want more shows like this that we do on Sunday night, we don't always go, like I said, we don't always go 3 hours. We usually keep it to about an hour, but we did a longer show tonight because we had so much to talk about. So,
because it was Sunday, Jabba.
It was Sunday. It was total nonstop Barama or whatever. I don't know. So, all right. So we'll see you tomorrow for 100, the classic NWA TNA series. And Dave's going to be joining us. So it'll be cool to see him again. They won't be doing it from the couch. The couch.
Oh,
It's been a bangorama.
Although I might order some Chinese just for the sake of it, just so I could be cool like those guys were. Total nonstop Super Bowl. Yeah, right. Tonight it was total nonstop pizza rolls for me. That's what it was. I think I gained about 5 pounds tonight. All right. Any last words, Bill?
nah, just thanks for everyone for joining us tonight. It was an enjoyable dinner for all. And looking forward to seeing everybody for the rest of the week as we head into No Surrender. So big week for Impact. A lot of things going on.
Oh, yeah.
And hop on. Let's enjoy the ride.
Hell yeah. All right. See y'all tomorrow night. Much love, everyone. Take care.